What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside He Only Does Everything, Colin Moriarty.
Hello.
What are you going to drink on? You got an empty glass there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to go through a few of these things here.
Oh, what do we have? We have a bunch of bourbons and
Penny
whiskeys
Packer.
Okay.
This is an OG bourbon.
What is that? How
Google
OG
it.
is it?
It's an intentionally retro style bourbon.
So
It's not an old
has it
bourbon.
been around forever?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's just OG. That's
Penny
it.
Packer. That's a good name.
Bullet.
Of course.
You'll stand by. And of course, Woodford Reserve.
The Woodford Reserve.
The good stuff. But I'm gonna go in order. I'm gonna start with
You're going to bat the rotation tonight. You're going to have one of each. Yeah. Whoo, doctor. Over here, of course, the producer, Nick Scarpino.
Hello, hi-de-ho.
You're working overtime there on the board.
Yeah, this board's being a little finicky. I apologize, everyone, if there's any kind of crazy stuff. It's Greg's fault.
I'm sure, yeah, a few more whiskeys there. That'll help you and get it right on. Get it right.
A few more denotes that I've already had a couple.
Yeah.
This is my first drink of like the week.
No.
You're painting me to be some sort of lush.
No, you drank more
Just
than
neglecting his family
Lush?
the entire time.
Lush is the word you go for?
Yeah, lush.
that. Yeah, that's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
What's that even mean?
It means I'm drunk.
Yeah, drunk.
Really?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
thought lush
And
is
this
like
young guy over here who doesn't know what a lush is, the pure
shit.
one, Tim Geddes.
Hey.
The best posture in the business, they call him. Best
I'm trying to
posture
have,
on YouTube.
have you noticed that
I'm
I've been
pretty
trying to
straight.
up my posture game since Tim started?
Have you?
Yeah. I
How's
was
it going?
jealous.
Nobody's commented on the comments that you're getting straighter.
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
I'm just my posture's still miserable.
In middle
It's
school,
rubbish.
I used to get a lot of stuff from my teachers about not sitting up straight. So it's
And
weird.
so-
The internet wins. Thanks, guys.
Well,
Stand up
do you
for
think
me.
that it's just that they whipped you into shape, and now
No, not at all.
your teachers didn't whip you into shape? You just somehow started sitting up straight.
I don't feel like I'm sitting straight. Especially not right now.
You got a nice straight back though back here.
Oh, yeah.
I got that scoliosis going on. I'm always like with my Vito. Like,
You're the hunch down, walking around there.
Just
Hunchback.
Colin with his Vita just walking around San Francisco.
Hunchback immunity. they call 'em.
Dragon's Age, or what's that game? What's
Dragon's
the dragon
Age.
game?
Dragon's Age.
Not Dragon. It's not Dragon
Dragon's
Age.
Crown.
Dragon Crown. They got crowns. They got ages. They got everything. They got other stuff.
They got all
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with the Game Over Greggy show, what it is once a week, 4 friends gather around a table and podcast for your amusement. Each friend brings a topic to the table. The others don't know what it is. We talk it out. We go an hour and a half, usually sometimes longer. The thing is, we get through all 4 of the topics. If you like that, make sure you like this video. If you're watching the video, because usually every Friday the episode goes live on Bandcamp for $1 as a high-quality MP3. Then Monday it posts for free on GameOverGreggy.com. Yes, YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy as a video podcast. Last episode did not go up on Bandcamp. There was a whole bunch of rigmarole with networks and stuff. We're not even episode 10 yet, so we're still working out all the kinks. It was on their end. We're still trying to figure it out. Hopefully this one works, though, and you can go get them both. Last week's episode was a doozy. 2 hours of content.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
As
Wouldn't
good
go
as
that
it
far.
gets. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
It's as
listened
good
to,
as it's gonna get.
I've listened to at least, no lie, 3 podcasts
In your
my
life?
entire life, and last week's episode was not like second best
Wow.
out of all
Damn.
the 4 of them.
What was
the
first
4
best?
episodes I listened
Podcast
to.
Beyond episode number 190.
Would you believe that
75.
I've never actually listened to a podcast Beyond in my
I
entire life?
totally believe that. Why
absolutely
would you
Would
listen?
you believe that I've never listened to one ever?
Yes, 100%. Of course.
Have you
I
have you
believe
even
this.
listened to a bit of one? Skimmed through?
Yes, I have because I filmed one before, but that's it.
No, but like
I
an
wasn't
audio
paying
one.
attention to what they were doing.
You'd have to care about video games for that. You played one video game in
I played
2013.
Wolfenstein.
No, you
when I
played
was a kid.
you played Grand Theft
Wolf
Auto
3.
last year. You
Yeah.
played Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto. You came in. You talked about how much you loved it.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Up until the Trevor part, which you and I. That's where you and I.
It
veer
was
off.
enjoyable till the Trevor part. So
I was really getting
2 hours
well, I
in,
don't wanna t-
it was a great time. And then when it got arguably the best, he comes around. He's the
Arguably,
best.
you were the one that would argue that.
It's not 2K. I guess it's longer than 2 hours. But
It
you
was
know
a
what I'm
while.
saying.
It was like
Yeah,
6
you're
hours.
right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I played as Trevor for like a half an hour and then I stopped playing. So that was way after 2 hours.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I didn't even get to Trevor.
You guys suck.
Yeah, I know.
You're the
Bad
worst
stuff.
kind of people. That's why we talk about random crap on this show. If you like it, like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe, buy shirts on YouTube. No, well, you click on the link right there and go do it. You know what it means.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first with their topic? I will. Let's talk about death.
Yeah, let's do that.
I want to talk about death.
Okay.
All right.
You've been closest to death out of all of us here.
No, I don't think so.
You had the cancer.
That doesn't count.
You were on death's door.
No.
How does that not count?
I
That
never for a
counts.
second when I got cancer thought I was going to die.
I
There was
didn't
never a
even-
Yeah,
belief
but, like-
that I was going to die. They said you got Hodgkin's lymphoma, you look it up, you're like, oh, it's like 86 survival percentage. And the older, if you get old, if you get in your old, you know, you're going to
You
die.
didn't
if you're
tell
old
me
enough.
that though. You came in the first day and you're like, Nick, I need someone here constantly tending to my needs.
Right.
Because there's a 2% chance that I'll live through this.
So who do we hire for that?
To my credit, I never had to show
Drucker.
anyone.
We got Drucker for that.
I never had to
Good.
show anyone at IGN documentation that I had cancer.
Yeah.
Nor did I lose any weight during
You
chemo.
really just
That was the best. You were so fat when you had cancer.
Yeah, I got
though.
fatter somehow. I
don't even mean. I
No, I
can't-
got more. I got when you look back at old Up at Noons, I look way chunkier.
I can't tell that kind of stuff because I see you too much, but just the amount of the insatiable appetite. Because I remember when you told me, you know, this is before you were, went public with it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember the first thing I said to you was like, "You're gonna lose a ton of weight."
Yeah,
That didn't happen.
didn't happen.
No,
with your fake cancer.
I don't know, man. You are a lot skinnier than when I met you.
Sure.
I don't know.
That's just happened though.
No.
I don't have a good reason for that. People always accuse me of quitting Team Fat. People tell me I've lost weight.
So wait,
I wear tighter shirts. I'm still fat.
What
sure.
is it about death specifically that you wanted to talk? Just death in general.
I want to know everyone's closest they've come to death. What is a moment where you're like, holy shit, I could have just died there? Because I have two. I can go first if you want, so you can all think of them,
Yeah,
right?
I have one.
Okay, you go.
I'll So the closest I ever came probably was I used to burn the candle at both ends, so to speak. When I was younger, I'd stay up really late.
You talk about cocaine a lot. This falls into that too?
No, it doesn't. This is not an overdose story, so I apologize for everyone.
I just thought that you didn't sleep, so you just do a lot of coke.
No, I stayed up one night hanging out with my friends, and the next day my dad, who was very, my dad's an awesome guy. He's very gung ho about like knowing how to do stuff for yourself.
Right.
And he's like, you need new brakes on your car. You got to get up in the morning and change those brakes. And I was like, all right, but I was late to get up because I was, I had been up so late the night before.
What'd
So
you
I
do?
get up a little late. I was hanging out with my friends.
You party?
We were partying.
Did you go throw the football around?
We don't. I don't
The
know.
old pigskin?
I don't even know what that means.
You drink? Yeah, you drink on the 50-yard
No,
line?
actually,
He strikes me as that kind of guy, right? Like,
Drinking on the 50-yard line?
could you imagine, you're out there in your Letterman's jacket, you and
Oh,
all the other
God.
jocks in high school?
Yeah, I was not a jock in high school. You know that for sure, and I know that we've talked about how much I was not a jock in high school.
I can imagine you as that. Like, he's right, though. Now, you would be a jock.
Like I was throwing like bottles at cars as they go by, and like
No,
not really a jock
you
trait,
were the cool
usually.
kid. I would imagine you as being like the super cool guy in high school. But at the same time, knowing you, I can totally imagine you being not the cool guy.
I wasn't.
Just now you're the cool
I was
guy.
neither cool nor uncool. I was just sort of existing.
You were just the guy.
People just knew who I was.
Hey, look, there's that Nicholas Scarpino with
I
an
was
H.
like, I used to do a lot of theater stuff, and I used to do a lot. I was
Theater?
In band. I was in band. I was the drum major 3 years in a row. Very proud of that.
So that's like you were twirling the sticks and like doing like
I
the
twirled the sticks.
Like Nick
No,
Cannon.
that's a drummer.
Bah, bah.
I was the guy that conducted the band in front of everyone. And at the,
What'd you
at the-
call it?
The drum major. So at the front of the parade route,
Isn't it like
the guy that's marching in front with a little beat, he's the one that sets the tone for the drums. And
The
the drums set
drum
the
line.
tone for the drum line.
Didn't you see the movie Drumline with Nick
yeah,
Cannon?
but I didn't think that was the name of
It's the
them.
two guys that walk back and they're like, oh, and they're like,
Sure.
oh. That was me. I was that guy.
And they call it a drum major.
Drum major.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the leader of the band, any band.
Leader of the pack.
So is that how you guys died?
Can we see video of you being
Oh,
a drum
good.
major?
I'm sure there is some somewhere. I don't know if it's been digitized. Remember, I went to high school. I graduated high school
Sure.
in '98.
It was black and white. It wasn't a talkie yet.
Yeah, everything was analog. If that term was even invented,
It was
yet.
like in between, like
Groucho.
the Long Beach County All Stars are taking the field. And here comes number one drum major in Southern California, Nicholas Scarpino.
With an H.
with an age.
pretty good.
Careful, ladies, he's single.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, our boys in the Pacific Theater.
Yeah, you want to hear something sad? When I was a kid, when I was in high school, I was super chunky. I was like a big boy, right? And so there's nothing more cliche than being chubby as the drum major. What made it even worse was my high school was so poor; they only had a certain amount of outfits, like uniforms for everyone to wear. And the last drum major before me was like your size.
He's
Maybe
pointing at Colin. If you're
Colin,
listening.
I'm pointing at Colin. So I mean, he was tiny. He was a tiny guy. He was very in shape. He was trying to like he's gonna go into the military. I think he went to the Air Force after that. And so my band director, great guy, super did me a solid, and he was like, "Look, I'll be honest with you. I want you to be drum major. That's great, but you're not going to be if you can't fit into the uniform. Like, we're not making a new uniform for you." So
I don't know why this is so funny.
It's
to me,
really
but it
sad.
Really is.
It's like Mr.
But
Holland's opus.
he's like, I want you to know that, like, you're standing in front. When, the drum major, for anyone who's never been to a football or doesn't really pay attention to a football game, he's the one that stands up with his ass toward the crowd and starts the marching band. And they do what's called a field show. And they like, and they come. And that's when they practice for their competitions, is in the middle of football games. And then they go back up to the stands and they play the fight song or whatever that is. So he's like, look, you people are going to stare at your ass. And you look like the penguin. Because the uniforms were the ones that were like super high, so your ass was like elongated. It was, Danny DeVito from Batman Returns. So yeah, I had to lose weight. He did me a solid. I had to go and I lost like 20 pounds so I could fit into one of the uniforms.
Was it like a cool summer montage of you're like lifting milk jugs and rolling
Sadly,
in the dirt?
No, I went.
Is that how you lose weight?
This is what happened. Do you know what I did to lose weight? I stopped eating past like 10 o'clock at night. And I used to be
that helps.
I used to be heavy into Steven Seagal, and I used to just go out and like shadow box outside my house for like a half hour.
God.
And then I would try to do like every night I would shadow box, and I'd be like ha ha ha, like, right. And then I would go, and then there was this one sole branch on this sad tree out in front.
On fire.
Yeah. And I would try desperately to just do one pull up. That's how out of shape I was. One pull up.
Was your father just at the window with a cup of coffee, just like shaking his head the entire time?
No, he probably was. If he did, and he had the kindness not to actually tell me about that. Anyway, long story short, which is really a long story short.
I like it. This is what the show's all about.
I woke up in the middle. I woke up very late that day.
Oh, the breaks.
Yes.
We're getting back to the breaks.
The breaks, as a result, could not get done. I had to borrow my parents' 4Runner, and I fell asleep on the 91 freeway.
Oh my God!
And I woke up about 4 inches from the car in front of me, going about 60 miles an hour. I slammed on the brakes, and it was a 5-car pileup.
They hit you?
Oh, I hit them.
I
I slammed into the car in front of me, slammed into the car, and like I was still in a daze because I was so tired. I'm like, if I hadn't hit the brakes, like if I hadn't actually woken up, then I don't know what would have happened. I could have just plowed into him, over, and died.
That's no good.
Yeah, no. So, moral of the story is get sleep. It's the most important thing in your life. And don't stay up the night before messing around with your buddy's sister.
So you were the night before you were practicing for the drum stuff?
No, I was messing around with my buddy's sister. We were at his house and she was cute.
But so how did we get to the drum meet? I guess I missed that portion.
I gotta go back. You asked me. You were like,
No,
Nick's cool in high school.
We were talking about the cool in high school.
Okay. That makes sense.
No.
We should open. Is that window open?
No, do you want it to be?
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
That's hot.
Open it up, Tim. You're
Tim,
so
can you
active.
get over
Pop
there?
up
That window
there.
doesn't
Tim
go
is
anywhere.
so
It's the
active.
window to fucking nowhere.
Yeah, it's a little.
It'll vent the air a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hot today.
So pull the blinds. Nope. There you go.
So Colin, what is your closest to death story?
Yeah, how close are you going to death?
How
there?
close have you come to death?
CM.
Like
CMO.
a few times I've come.
Como. I want to hear about them all.
Two recent ones come to mind. Very recent ones.
Recent.
Yeah. One, I was in Philadelphia seeing my brother. This was right before my very good friend Nate Ahern got married.
Nate Ahern, love him.
And
We know Nate. Shout out to Nate.
And he was getting married in Pennsylvania, so I went and hung out with my brother one night. And he lives in the Philly suburbs, and I'm in a house with his wife and his kids. And I got there, and we were like, let's go to Wawa. Now,
What's Wawa?
So Wawa is a 24-hour convenience store in like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, upstate
Like
New
a
York.
Safeway?
No, it's like a convenience store. You get gas and stuff there.
Oh,
But
okay.
the thing about Wawa is it's open all night, and they make amazing sandwiches.
How is that possible?
I don't know. It just is. Like you go in.
I've heard this from other people. It's not just Colin being crazy.
They
Because sometimes he says crazy
You
things.
like you go in. There's like a deli counter to the left, and then like
this is
the
good.
convenience store to the right, or whatever, or like the convenience stuff to the right. And you just go up to a monitor and like press what you want. You can like get real crazy with it. I order like gross shit.
Does it come out of a urinal?
Yeah, it comes out of a urinal. So I always order. Usually I order on white.
How would it even come out of a urinal, Greg?
Because that is an inside reference to Podcast Beyond fans of urinal sandwiches.
I don't watch podcasts.
No.
I
know
don't listen
you
to
don't.
Podcast Beyond.
You don't listen to this show. You don't even know what you say half the time.
it's
I'm trying
just
the
right.
penny packer.
Yeah, it's alright. Let me know what you think. So I ordered my sandwich. I got my Old Bay potato chips, of course, and then we get back into the car and we're leaving and we're driving. Anyway, we're driving back home and we go through an intersection and this woman in an SUV, she has the red light, just fucking goes right through the red light, and my brother like swerves, like she's like not stopping, and this was back in May, I think. And she swerved, and we like just missed her. My brother would have totally been destroyed by this woman because it was on his side or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was at least as an adult probably the closest I've ever been to being
death.
murdered by someone. That was actually like really like shaking, kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
But then I was hiking in Tahoe with my girlfriend not too long ago.
Is this where you saw the tracks that were clearly bear tracks?
Yeah, but this is a different story. I'm not worried about it. She was scared about that. I wasn't scared about
God, how great would that be if that
If it was the bear.
And the other
That
time I
almost
almost
killed
died
him.
is that time we saw bear tracks.
But it was just a very quick thing that I didn't really think much about until later. But we were walking, we were hiking like way above our skill level, and we were hiking like along a ridge, and it was just like a drop off, and
Yeah.
like a drop off of probably hundreds of feet.
You
like,
would have
to
died.
about- Yeah, and like I was just walking and like slid, like my foot like slid into like the thing, and I caught myself, and then just kept walking. And then I like looked down and kind of thought about it and just kept walking. And then like when I got back to the hotel that night, I was like, wow, like if I actually went over that thing, that would have been game over. Yeah, like it would have been over for me. Like no doubt about it. So and that was just like I took it very much in stride, considering it was very serious. But
you're a pretty even keel human being, except for when you're trying to get games to work.
PlayStation Vita game store.
Yeah, don't get me started on package files. Nope. So that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically it. Nothing too exciting.
Timmy, what do you got for me?
So when you brought this up, I was a little worried. I was like, I don't know if
everyone's.
I don't know if my story is like gonna stand up. But now that I've heard you guys, mine is actually
way
definitely
better.
closest to death. Like
Really?
I looked it in the eyes and I was like, uh-oh.
Alfredo.
So I was about no. Oh
Is it
God.
because of Alfredo?
No.
Does it have to do with Alfredo Diaz?
It's my other.
At Alfredo IGN. Okay.
I was young. I was really young. I was like 11, and we decided to climb a tree. And there was
the old
yeah,
tree climbing.
yeah.
And there was this fat drum major trying to do one pull-up on it.
the whole tree fell. No.
Wait, as a side note, if anyone listening to this was a drum major, tweet at me at Nick_Scarpino. Let's talk about it, because it was actually some of the best times of my life. Everyone else can go F themselves.
I'm not. Your topic can be drum majoring. I was giving you
when I was in high school. I worked for the school newspaper.
I'm giving you like I like how that's what you're pulling out. All the shit I'm giving you is the shadowboxing one pull-up. That's just where like I'm gonna get in shape.
Yeah.
I'm not.
my
The
brother's-
one I will make 3 concessions to get in shape.
I-
Number 1, I won't eat after 10
Not gonna eat after
p.m.
10. I used to stare at the food and be like, I'm better than you.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say 10 a.m. like something crazy, but 10 p.m. is what came out. And then you went and how long were the shadowboxing sessions?
In my mind, they were 3 hours. In reality, it was more like 10 minutes.
15, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
15.
And then the one pull-up.
Oh God, yeah. I was just like, all I can, because to me, like the manliest test of fitness was if you could do a pull-up. I didn't know that people could do multiple.
Which
pull-ups
is awesome
back then.
here, because this comes like not full circle, but this
Yeah.
we're going to future now at E3 this year. There was a big hubbubaloo because there was a chain hanging.
Yeah, it's a tough chain.
And someone
It was a
decided
tough
to do
chain.
pull-ups. That someone was Nick Scarpino, and
I
it was
did.
awesome.
Yeah, I did a lot of
pull-ups?
pull-ups. Yeah,
On a
well, they weren't
chain?
pull-ups. Those were more. I don't know what they call
Like
them.
a rope climb?
No, it was like a chain that was hanging down. That they hung the.
He grabbed a chain and
punching
pulled
bag
himself
off of.
up repeatedly until almost killing Tal.
That was later. That was a whole other thing. Yeah, I can do pull-ups now because I'm like 40 pounds lighter. So just
Sure.
by virtue
You
of
got,
being
you
of
got
that,
the guns.
I haven't worked out in a while. It's been a while.
Flex real quick. That's a gun.
It's not that
There it
good.
is. You got the arch.
Yeah, I don't know. That's still just pushing up skin. Tim, you fell out of a tree.
No, I did not follow you.
Onto a
There was
blonde.
a tree next to an abandoned school building.
This
and-
sounds creepy.
Was it
And
haunted?
we're like, we're
Colin
gonna
just smiled at me like this is
like-
gonna be a good story.
we're gonna climb the tree and then jump onto the building. And I was like, yeah. So we climbed this tree, biggest tree I've ever seen. Not true.
Like a sequoia.
It was a big tree though.
but as a kid, yeah.
Like a red
Climb
one.
the tree, jump over to the building. We're on the roof. It was the best half hour of our lives. We're just like, this is awesome. We're looking over the world. And then we realized, how are we getting back?
Yeah, how are we gonna get that?
What are we doing?
How tall was
My
the
little
roof?
brother jumps back. He's good.
He jumps back to the tree.
Yeah. Just climbs right down. My other friend jumps back to the tree. Climbs back
Is there
down.
like a Y junction you're jumping to, or are you
I
just
sit
jumping
there.
like koalas and grabbing
Are
it?
they like Avatar style?
I sit
like,
there.
Just, woo?
for at least another half hour.
You contemplated it.
Crying.
Really?
Scared. I thought I was going to die up there. I actually thought I was going to die on that roof. I was so scared. Didn't think I could get it back. The worst part of that story, that tree, about 20 feet high, and that jump to the roof, maybe this big.
Really?
2 feet?
I had no chance of dying that day, but I
Yeah.
cried like a
Yeah.
baby.
You
You
were
get
you were
terrible.
convinced that was it.
I was convinced. I was so convinced.
So
I
what did
was
you eventually
scared.
do? You eventually
I
jumped?
just jumped back. Yeah.
You
like-
manned up, and that one moment is why you're not producer at IGN.
Exactly. I would have been
That gave
dead
you
otherwise
the
on a roof
courage.
of a school.
The courage.
I was
to
gonna say I
succeed
think
in
that's
life.
crazy. Yeah.
That's
Quick
what I
other
meant.
story that's not about me dying, but about a kid that almost died because of me. I went snowboarding in Tahoe one time.
I didn't
don't
know
know how
snowboard.
to- I don't know how to
Well,
snowboard.
that's
I
why
was
you shouldn't do it
snowboard though.
then.
So when you don't know how to snowboard, it's really fun, but you're kind of just going a little bit, and then you throw yourself down because
Yeah, you
you're
get
going
the
too
crap beat
fast
out
and
of
you're
you,
scared.
Yeah.
So you keep doing that. And there was like this turny little bend thing. And I'm like, cool, let's try this. And then me and my friend tried it. We both sucked. So we just kept stopping. And we stopped at the edge of like a big turn. And we see this like 7-year-old kid by himself skiing towards us down this
Yeah.
hill. And he's going fast, screaming. And I just hear, ah! And I'm looking at him. I look at my friend, like, dude, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, should I let him hit me? Like, that'll stop him. And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, it's gonna really hurt. I was like,
How long? I love
do?
how far he is for
No.
this entire
No,
conversation.
he was. I mean, he was a dot.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you see
yeah,
the dot getting bigger and bigger, and I was like, dude, let's move. So we move out of the way, and that kid just goes flying off the cliff into trees, and all we hear is,
You got to be kidding me.
nope, that was it.
That's
and
amazing.
Then like 2 minutes later, I was like, oh my god, we were freaking out.
Kid's
and
dead, yeah.
No, we just hear little sirens. We just
No
hear
way.
the little like snowmobile sirens,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like, oh my, I don't know what happened to that kid. I hope he's okay. I hope he has a family. I hope things are good. But
You didn't go investigate?
I mean, he was gone.
It's
man.
a cliff, or
It
what?
was a.
I'm willing to bet.
It was a cliff.
I'm willing to bet for the last
There's a
12
chance he's
years, this kid has been thinking about you and been like, that son of a bitch.
Yeah,
should
you've
help
now
me.
identified yourself. It's
And
like
now
one of
he
those
knows who
like
you are.
crazy things where he's like gone back through all the
Yeah,
ski lift
exactly.
records. He's got the the pin to pin connections, trying to piece it all together. And
It's
now
crazy,
he's like,
man.
He's sitting there and he's like Krang from TMNT, just in a little bubble, like searching
It
out.
was
trying to find
Karaka
it.
Shock or whatever.
It was Caracas. No, the worst part was there was like older people, like adults around.
Why
and
didn't
they
you
would come
stop
down,
them?
Why didn't you stop
Really?
them? Yeah, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
felt so bad. And then me and my friend were like, let's go.
Yeah, let's get the
go.
hell out of here. We're
Yeah,
accessories
smart
to
idea.
murder.
But then we sped off, and by sped off I mean kept going down and throwing ourselves
Yeah,
down every
and
5
having
feet.
to die.
just
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Lame.
You're wanted
away.
for manslaughter.
No, probably. He might have died.
Speaking of death, Greg.
Greg Way. I have two close calls.
Yeah.
Where I like it's like you're talking about the shaking, right? Where you're like, holy shit. Number one was in high school. I was with this girl. We were going out to dinner. We were in the car. I was passenger. She's driving, and I forget what it was, but we were.
This story is starting now.
Yeah, it's
if you
not.
know what I mean.
Nowhere good.
Little Jack in the Box, if you know what I mean.
We didn't have Jack in the Boxes in the Chicagoland area. We're driving to
went
this
there a
restaurant.
lot.
We're parked. We're stopped at a red light in the right hand lane, but there's a turn lane over here. And I forget what it was. It was something stupid, like she hadn't seen Ghostbusters or something. And I was like, well, then this is over before it began. And I opened the door to pantomime and I pantomimed like leaning out of the door, and I was like, and as I shut the door, another car came blazing down like the right hand turn lane, and it was like a fraction of a second more. I would have lost my arm in the door, and it would have been like I would have been fucked up. And I was doing the whole like lean out of the car too. Like my head could have gotten taken off.
Imagine if that happened.
I know,
How
right?
traumatized she would be.
Oh,
She would never watch Ghostbusters.
a boy chose to kill himself over my non-seeing Ghostbusters.
Just like starts having convulsions
That's a
every time
Facebook
someone
headline.
See,
right
now
there.
it's
Peter Venkman.
Put a pin in that one. We're going to come back to that in a second, what you just said, all right? But then the second one was even worse. This is like out of like every time somebody dies, usually like, I can't believe the last thing I said. Me and my girlfriend, after I had already graduated school, I was working at the daily paper in Columbia. We had a fight or whatever, but we had to drive to the paper to drop off cars and switch them out or something stupid. I think it might have been that like I didn't have time to like take her to the mechanic, but like we needed to do this now. I was like, whatever. So it was a football Saturday in Missouri or Columbia, Missouri. So that the Tigers are in town. So it was like drunk people are out everywhere. Everyone's out partying and blah blah blah. And so I'm stopped on Providence, which is this big road cutting through Columbia or whatever, and they're tailgating alongside of it. This isn't right. Stadium? It's been so long. I'm on a big road that people tailgate up alongside. And my lane stops, my girlfriend passes me, and I'm stopped behind a big like tractor trailer truck, and then in front of that is a tow truck, like getting somebody who was illegally parked for tailgating or whatever. And there's people walking along, going around it to get to their cars or whatever. And I'm sitting there in my Ford Mustang behind this huge truck. I'm in a little Ford Mustang convertible, ragtop, and I'm sitting there like slumped, just whatever looking, and I look up in my mirror, and there is a jacked up fucking giant GMC truck barreling down. Clearly has no idea that traffic is at a dead stop. It's come over the hill, and it is flying down, breaking every speed limit, you know what I mean? And it's that fraction of a second long enough for me, like, there's nothing I can do. Like, this is going to hit me, drive me into the other car. This car is total. I'll be lucky to live through this, you know what I mean? Like, that second of adrenaline, but, like, my whole body just went limp. Like, it was just automatic. Like, it was like, this is the defense mechanism. There's nothing to do. And at the very last second, the car, this gets even scarier for everyone around. The car who's coming down doesn't even like slam on his brakes, doesn't do anything like Nick Scarpino does. Mm-hmm. Jerks the wheel to the right, goes off onto the shoulder, and then back out in front of, like he goes around me, around the big tractor trailer truck, and then around the tow truck. But what was fucking crazy about this is that entire time before this, people are walking up and down that side trying to get to their cars or go tailgate, whatever. Nobody got hit, and it was like one of those like grace of God moments that the car went off, missed all these people, all these cars, got back on the road and went.
Damn.
But like, I got to the paper and I was like shaking, and like my girlfriend was still mad at me about like whatever fight we were having. I'm like, it does not matter right now. You know what I mean? Like I literally could have. That was the closest. And so pulling the pin on what I was saying later. This is something a friend used to talk about in college. I think. Like the sliders mentality, or like infinite Earths and all that stuff, string theory, right? That in another universe or another timeline, like I died there, right? You died on your roof.
Oh, I died on the roof, man.
That's like that. I always find that stuff so mind-boggling, right? To sit there and be like, what would have happened if I lost my arm there? You know what I mean? Or what would have happened if I had gotten killed there in that car?
Man.
That stuff, like that's the kind of like crazy little things that we have the conversation with Colin about ghosts, right? And like heaven and God and religion and stuff, and like. I talk about like, I'd like to imagine that in the afterlife you'd be able to say like can I see what would the timeline look like if that had happened, or like what would that universe look like where that happens and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm always fascinated with.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Your story reminded me of my other near-death story that is a little almost closer to death.
Yeah.
Not much more though.
Yeah.
This time I got caught on top of a Carl's Jr.
So when
climbed onto a rock.
When we were in high school, Alfredo was the first one.
Here we go. I like a good Alfredo story.
Yeah,
Did you learn what?
how to drive.
Oh, okay.
So he had his license and he could drive us around. So he had a minivan, his mom's minivan.
Yeah,
Baller.
he did.
By the way,
And
side
so-
note,
The shagging wagon.
minivans. I get a minivan every time we go anywhere, right? Like
Yes.
whenever we go on a trip, E3, VidCon.
Every VidCon.
Let's go on trips, Nick. This
Dude,
will be fun.
I love minivans, and I like the minivans where you can hit the button and both side doors open, and it becomes like a modern A-Team attack van.
Except they come out really slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
continue.
it's pretty much what we were working with,
Yeah.
except 10 years ago. And so we would drive around this, and we were cool. Like, we were like the only people with the car. So
Sure.
that was awesome. So we're driving around, and it's like, what do you do when you can first drive? You fuck with people. So, in movies, there's always that spot that people go, like high school kids go to make out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, is that a real thing?
Yeah. I used to
Because in
have a spot
SF, that
Riverside.
is a real thing, and it's near Ocean Beach.
Well, then why would you ask if it's a real thing?
I didn't
if
know.
it's real to you,
I
then
thought it
it's
was.
at least. Am I wrong?
Did I dream all this?
Am I crazy? Did I go to that?
No, it's like I didn't know. Like I thought it was funny that was a real
Yeah.
thing.
You would always. It's not something that someone like the city doesn't make that spot. Kids just find that spot. It's not like it's partitioned off by the state.
How great would that be?
State
All right,
mark.
before the San Francisco City Council tonight is the motion to make makeout point. Ocean Beach.
So we'd go to this place at Ocean Beach, and I realized that all the people go.
Oh yeah,
to
Ocean
make
Beach
out.
is a great place to do that too. It's so secluded. It's always foggy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what it was, and no lights, no anything.
Yeah.
So what we would do is we would go into this little crevice to enter this.
A lot of
place.
people went to a little
Oh
crevice
yeah,
there.
a lot of crevices
I
going
spent
on.
my entire high school career trying to get into crevices.
We turned off the lights of the van, and we would sneak up to the cars that are parked,
Yeah.
and just turn on the lights and start honking.
You were a dick
That's
in
awesome.
high school.
That's awesome.
Why
was
were
high
you?
school.
Why would you see? My friends did stuff like that. I had my brother's friends were like they were hooligans. They used to go. They do the weird things where they had a van also, but it was like a really like crappy '80s van. It was brown. It was weird. And they used to do things where they would like see joggers and they would open up the door of the side of the van and throw water balloons at
Yeah,
joggers.
That's
right?
terrible.
It's
Or they would
terrible,
take
but
like
it's
they would do like
hilarious.
they would
Like-
do the things where they used to go to a Ralph. It used to call Ralph's, which is a shopping.
Still exists.
Store. It's still Ralph's, yeah. And they would go and they would steal a shopping cart, and then we had this really steep hill, and they would go down the hill, and it would go, into like a ravine, and then it would come back up. And as they were coming up, they let go of the shopping cart, and
Oh,
we just
wow.
go, "Whoo!" and just spark for like half a mile.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
They thought that was funny. Why did kids think that stuff was funny?
Because it's hilarious.
You
Super
finally
quick
get to-
tangent off of what you were saying.
I have so many tangents off
There-
of
there was one
everybody's saying
time-
right now.
we stole a shopping cart from Albertsons, went home, we bought 1,000 water balloons, spent the whole day filling it up with water, like filling up 1,000 water balloons, filling the shopping cart with them, brought it to the place where all the middle school kids hung out, and just bombarded
That's
them.
awesome. That's a good one.
You're such a. Those kids right now, by the way, are
They
like.
were my little brother's friends, so
Oh, okay,
it
so
was
they knew
a
who you
little
were.
different.
That's
They knew
fine.
who I was.
That's just to
but
them.
some
That's
of them
actually
did it, and it was
in reality
awesome.
to them. That's actually just a show of affection.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the cooler. The
No,
big
and
kids
we,
are like,
we,
think,
we gave
you know,
them some,
Sure.
not 1,000, but some.
Right.
When we talked about this last episode, the backyard wrestling career of Greg Miller.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the time we went to steal a shopping cart so we could have it because we had you
Were you
steal
trying to
everything.
gonna hit each other with the shopping cart?
No, you use it for you push weapons out because they do that in wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Like ECW
Yeah.
used to
Yeah,
do that
yeah,
or
sure,
whatever.
sure.
Of course, we'd push it out in our backyard that wasn't paved, so like it
Grass.
would get like 2 feet,
Get
and then
stuck
you
in a golfer
you'd
hole?
roll it over.
Right.
Yeah, I almost broke my arm. Another alternate universe thing. There was a time where I on top of the shopping cart. A friend jumped on me, and then he rolled off me, and literally I felt my arm bend to its like as far as it could, like on that point. And it was like one more. It was the breaking point, and it didn't happen. But it was like I got up, and I'm just like, holy shit, that was close.
I remembered one more story. I was like, this.
When we're getting the shopping cart.
Yeah. Oh,
you
like, the shopping cart.
Sorry, yeah. We roll up, and it's just like, we roll up in a giant van, and like all these dumb, like, fucking 16, 17-year-olds get out, and it's a Walmart parking lot, and like other people are going about their business, so we're like all, like looking at, this is before cell phones, we're like looking at maps, like trying not to look like we're about to steal a shopping cart, and then like one lady turned her head, we're like, no, and grab the shopping cart, and you throw it in, you slam the door, and you speed off.
There you
fucking
go.
Van.
There you go.
So this actually was the first time I went to Japan on TGS. Because you know Shibuya Square. Have you been to Japan?
No.
The big crossing that there's like 5. It just all the lights go and then.
In Tokyo Drift when they go through the thing.
Did you play World Ends with You?
No,
I'll stop there. Then alright, forget it.
So it happened, right? And these two cars that were clearly racing each other came through the intersection.
They did not.
And they slid, and one almost hit me as it kind of drifted through the intersection.
You were talking about Tokyo Drift.
Maybe that was Tokyo Drift, actually.
Yeah.
Because Statham was in that, and maybe it was fast.
I stayed in a hotel right outside the crossing, which was
Did you?
Yeah.
Me too.
That's
I think that's
cool.
a IGN classic. Yeah.
Tim, if you've never actually seen that, you got to go. It's awesome. It's one of the
Japan was
coolest things on the
life-changing.
planet.
I loved it.
Yeah. That was a good topic.
Wait, no. Hold on. We're not done with the
going
story. We would honk at the people.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this part of the makeouts.
Yeah. We would drive up.
What else?
Was
You're like, hey, you know what we should totally do? Is just kill one of them. Let's just strangle the shit.
Well,
out of someone.
how great would it be to get a bunch of hooks and walk around putting them on people's door handles?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Like you'd never see the payoff to that joke, but I would love it.
So we would just turn on the lights, honk,
Only Miller.
and we would just drive away. And we thought it was hilarious, and we'd laugh and laugh and laugh. Come back an hour later, do it again, and we just keep doing it. And then one day, we saw boobs, and we're like, we are gonna do this every night for the rest of our lives.
This
This is so funny because like
we will forego
so what happened was
relationship.
like we
Were they
turned on
good?
the lights
Were
and
they
honked,
good boobs?
and we just see a girl pop up and like from
Yeah,
the back
yeah,
window,
yeah.
there's boobs. And we were like, oh my god, like, this is awesome. And then we kept doing it, and then one time we did it to the wrong people.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say eventually someone big is gonna get out of that car.
No,
and get
I mean,
pissed.
well, we were good. We were mobile. And
Sure.
Time
in
to
your
go mobile.
in your minivan.
in a minivan, yeah. And so these dudes,
Fastest production car. on
Please
the
tell me
planet.
it was like
Chrysler minivan.
Alfredo honks the horn on his mom's van and his parents get out of the
oh
car.
man, that would have been awesome. No, it was like some people. I need to be careful to not be racist here. So
It's too late. Now you flagged it.
there
How
was
about
people.
you just
I'm just gonna say people, and they like to drive really fast. And they're in this car.
I don't.
Is that even a racial stereotype?
Oh,
It is if you've seen Tokyo Drift.
okay, so Asian people. Were they Asian? Were they of the Asian like a?
They
okay.
were. They were.
It's
But
okay
so
to
were
say
half
Asian
the people in our
You're
car,
not gonna
so
be,
it was
it's
fine.
not racist.
We're in you grew up in San Francisco. Everyone's Asian here.
Yep, but they don't all like to drive fast and furious. But these guys did. Point is, let's keep going with this.
So
We
they
honk,
were-
we
they
turn
were
on the
like
lights.
Yakuza?
We're cracking up, and all of a sudden the car just instantly backs up. Turns on their lights, 180 flips and's looking
Oh
at us.
shit!
And we're like, oh! The freedom backs up. We start getting out there in the minivan. Back it up.
And they were-
And we back out. And if you guys have seen the, like, Ocean Beach, like the
Yeah,
highway
yeah.
there, the
Yeah.
Great Highway.
Yeah.
And there's that giant curve around the fake mountain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we should not have took it that
No,
fast in a
not in a minivan.
freaking minivan. We were fine there. And this Alfredo just learned to drive. This was a scary time. And we're just driving around this thing, just going so fast, trying to get away. And these guys are chasing us. We're like, oh my God, we're going to die. I wasn't scared I was going to die because of the driving. I was scared I was going to die because this guy was about to machete me.
Yeah.
Like, this was about to be
Wow, you're getting all the
real.
racial stereotypes. Maybe with a Cambodian? Is that why they use machetes?
It was
You're
getting real
racist
bad.
for a white
We ended
guy.
up, we drove all the way down
it's
to the
just all-
sunset.
I would be afraid of being macheted by anyone of any race.
I'll be honest, macheting is terrifying.
It's bad.
That's terrifying.
It's a real bad thing. So we ended up going all the way down the Great Highway to like 20, like way out in Taravel, which is a long
Oh,
drive.
wow. Yeah, okay,
Like,
yeah.
This guy was chasing us down the whole time. We
You should have just gone the speed
We
limit.
ran a couple reds on the Great Highway, which we would never do.
Yeah.
Because we're little girls.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, man, it was bad. And we get into the sunset, and we're like, dude, just pull and park, turn off your lights, pretend you're a car that's just parked. We did that, and we're like, oh, we're good.
Yeah, right.
The guy comes around the block, stops and sees us, and we're like, ah! Start driving it. It was so. Eventually, he just
one guy.
It was a guy and this girl.
Oh well. What is he gonna do to you?
I don't know. We were scared.
I want to hear how it ends. Yeah, what happens?
He left us alone. Eventually, he just stopped.
He was like, these guys are just
let
giant
us go.
pussies. These guys
Yeah.
are huge wusses.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
He
clearly
let us
these
go.
are 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm 18. I'm
Exactly.
mature.
You know what? When you were in high school, there was just like a vast difference between 18 and 16 in high school. Like
Sure.
18-year-olds were men. 16-year-olds were like, you just learned how to drive. I don't know what my point was on that one, but I would have been terrified too.
What we used to do in high school was I don't know if they still sell them, I'm sure. I don't know if they were a big deal now or if they were in your part of the neck of the woods. Those giant
Muscle
spotlights,
tees?
the spotlights with like a trigger, you know what I mean?
No.
You never seen these?
No, that
It'd be
sounds
like,
cool though.
It'd be like the lights we use or whatever. I forget how many thousands candles it equals out to, but it's a giant spotlight. It's like a bat signal spotlight in your hand.
Like a handheld bat signal.
Yeah.
That's cool as hell.
And so one of my friends had that, and he
cool
kept
as
it in the
ice.
back of his car. So when we'd get bored at parties, we'd leave that party and go to other parties and break them up to watch people scatter. Because when you roll up on a house in suburbs of
How did
Chicago,
you find the parties back in the
and
day?
because they're everywhere, you flag it over there, and you'd see people just scatter. People would freak out. We drive by in just normal people's houses and see like them watching TV, and you put it in there, and like people get up and they're peering out the window to see what the hell's happening. And then I bought one on my own in college. It would just do it to dorm rooms while I hung out with the people smoking because I was a dick.
Awesome.
That's a really mean thing to do.
Man, being young was fun.
Bringing light to their lives, literally.
No, that's like those guys that you remember when laser pointers first came on the scene and people were pretending like they were
so
snipers
They're crashing
and you were
planes
like,
and stuff. Yeah.
oh my god, don't be it.
Some people use
Edmund
People,
Zan.
if you're
I
in
don't
high
like
school,
you.
if you're in high school, try to be good to each other. Just try to be decent human beings. Don't be a Tim Geddes.
You
Don't-
didn't do anything bad in high school.
No, I never picked on anyone.
He was too busy doing
Well,
drum.
okay, the spotlight wasn't picking on anybody.
That's like a bully move. That's a bully maneuver.
It is not a bully maneuver.
Colin, can I get a ruling on this?
I don't know if it's bullying. I mean,
a dick move,
I
though.
didn't pick on people either, but I consider picking on people being like really mean spirited.
Yeah. I was definitely not a bully.
I mean, you were like causing people psychological trauma by terrifying them over and over again while they were just trying to have sex with
I
them.
don't think it counts as bullying if you don't know who they are.
Imagine this: that there was
Random
probably
acts of
someone who was
bullying.
having sex for the first time, and you ruined that for them.
Or made it awesome.
How in
First
God's
off, I'm
name
sure-
would that be awesome?
I'm sure it
A
was bad
topic for
first
the
time.
future is going to be the first time we had sex. I need to hear about this from all of us.
Tim, the
I'm
first
still
time you and I
waiting.
had sex in the studio that one time when everyone was gone after the holiday party.
Wait, what?
I was just joking. Oh my God.
I didn't hear it, but no.
But no.
Anyways.
Ew.
You still got a girlfriend?
Yes, Mr. Giraffe.
Yeah?
You still got a
How's
girlfriend?
your girlfriend doing,
Things
Tim?
are good.
Congratulations.
She's
How's your
happy.
girlfriend next
Yeah.
week?
Yeah. Huh?
Nothing. Cool.
I didn't hear
Good
that
topic.
either. Oh, thanks.
Oh, the listeners did.
I'm sure they did.
Tweet at me.
Thanks. Who's next?
Tim, you want to go next?
Yeah.
Wow.
This
Resounding.
penny
yes.
packer stuff's good.
Let's do this.
I want to try some. I'll try
Yeah, it's not
some.
bad.
That's what you were drinking, I thought.
No, I'm doing the Woodford.
So recently on
Yeah.
IGN,
Sure.
we made a video.
Yeah.
23 signs you're an old gamer. Grown up
You're
gamer.
grown
Man,
up.
yeah, you
Grown-up
made
gamer.
this video, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
that
just
was
making
the
a
thing.
share.
Grown up gamer.
Yeah. Beta.
And so the topic tonight is, what was the moment you realized that you're old?
I think Colin was born old, if I'm not mistaken. I
No,
think
I
Colin.
was
came
young. I
No,
was a young-
he
I
had
was
his
a young
him
buck
and
boy.
Raul
Did you
back
have-
in the day.
Raul!
Ramon. Whatever.
Colin, how was
I was
Ramon
I was
doing?
very different when I was 16.
Were you a
18, 20 years old.
rapscallion?
I wasn't a bad. I wasn't a
Rapscallion.
bad kid or a bad person, but I definitely liked to party and
Yeah.
have fun and I was very different than I am now.
What, at what point did you remember thinking, you know what, damn, I'm an adult. I'm actually a man now.
Honestly, I think one of the biggest realizations I had that I was an adult was when I had to start paying my student loans back. And I remember being I owed a ton of I still owe a lot of money. I owed like $50-something thousand for school, which is really nothing because my tuition was free. This was just for my room and board.
All the
Because my mom worked at Northeastern, so my tuition was free.
extracurricular activities.
Yeah. And I remember, so you have 6 months from when you graduate. So I didn't start paying back until November of 2007. And I remember getting the bill and like talking to people on the phone or whatever. And
You started sobbing.
I actually started crying when I got
Really?
when I got the phone.
Yeah,
Because I wasn't making much money at the time, and like you're making like $40,000 a year or something like
And
that.
you think-
And then you're like, you have $500 of that a month, so $6,000 a year just gone.
Yeah. That's huge.
And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. 'Cause I remember when I got my job, and I was like, oh my god, this is so much money. And
yeah.
I was like,
That's where I'm at right now.
It's a good feeling. It
is.
goes away fast, so
Yeah.
be careful.
well, yeah, like I was.
As soon
Especially
as
when
you become
get
an adult.
a girlfriend.
Yeah, Yeah, like I just remember, I remember when I got my job, I got the offer. They were like, we'll pay you, $40,000 a year or whatever. And I'm like, okay, awesome. And I remember being like, what the fuck am I going to do with that much money?
For context, though, because $40,000 a year is a lot in other parts of the country. In
Right.
San Francisco, the cost of living for a one bedroom right now is like $3,500.
The example I always give is that when I got my offer from IGN to move out here, I want to say I was offered $45,000 a year, and I was making in Columbia, Missouri at the time as a general assignment reporter. $25,000 a year, and I was like, yes, what an upgrade. And then I did a cost of living calculator, and it turned out I was actually making less money cost of living wise, so I had to call IGN back and be like, hey, I ran the numbers, can I please get and they're like, okay, sure. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was like, yeah. So I was totally thrilled at 22 years old to be making that much money, and I had jobs and I was a freelancer and stuff, so I was making okay money in college, but I remember getting that job, like getting that offer and being like, this is fucking awesome. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this TV and I'm going to get this PS3, and I'm just like, don't have to worry about anything ever again. And then I move out here. I have no money. Like everything is going towards cost of living. I'm like fucking broke. Then I get this, thing in November, a few months after I start working, being like, you owe this much money now. Good luck, Yeah. And, I was like fucking devastated. And I remember that was, but this changed my entire outlook too, because this is when I started becoming, a lot of people make fun of me, but like I'm a chronic saver, like of money. Like after like that, I'm like, I have to live lean and I have to like save my money. And so it was actually somewhat beneficial to me.
You don't want to feel that sinking feeling again, ever.
No, I don't. Like when people say like they live paycheck to paycheck, like
that's terrifying.
I feel for them because, I did that for quite a while, until I forced myself to get rid of the niceties of life, as it were.
Yeah.
You can't spend $50 a night on cabs. You can't go out drinking with your friend and your stupid fucking friends 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
You can't, you can't do these kinds of things. And so, like, there was a give and take, but I realized that was the moment when I realized, like, I'm an adult. Like, I have to worry about real things now. Because when you make money in college, when I remember, I never had more than $1,000 in the bank at any time when I was in college. And when I had $1,000 in the bank, I was like, what in the fuck? Like,
I gotta spend this.
Like, what am I even doing with all this money?
I can buy a GameCube.
Yeah, I gotta go drink and, be stupid with my friends and go to a 311 concert or something and buy, like, 5 pieces of merch or something. Like, you look at money in a different way. So I realized when I looked at money more as a commodity than something you spend, that was the moment that that my whole outlook changed. And now that I'm doing a little bit better financially and doing all these things, it's really not from making more money, it's from living a different sort of lifestyle. So that was when I realized that I was a grown-ass man.
I think mine was similar. I think it was the time when after I graduated, me and a friend went into business together. We bought a camera. I bought a camera. He bought a computer on credit cards, and we were like struggling to pay the roughly $2,000 a piece we owed on the credit cards, which then was a lot of money. And it was right around the same time my parents had been like, look, we've been helping you out for a while, but you're like, you're 21, you just graduated, you're done, you're cut off. And so it was the first time that I remember hitting like December or the 26th or 27th of a month and going, I don't know if I can pay rent next month. Like, how am I going to do this, right? And then I think in that same month, in that same period, I got like a flat tire, and I was like, shit, I gotta figure out a way to come up with $300 to buy a tire. And and then you go and you have that experience where the guy's like, well, you should get all 4 new tires because it's not good to just get. And I'm like, I just need 1 tire. Maybe you got to use one back there that you don't need. The guy's like, we don't sell used tires, bro. And I was like, is there a place I can get a used tire? Like, if I bring it to you. So I think there's that. I mean, although I'll be honest, I sometimes still don't feel like an adult. Like sometimes I'll get in the car and drive, and I'm like, I still can't believe they let me do this. Because I just like, we have so much fun, especially at IGN, where it's every day we talk about games and comics and movies, and like getting ridiculous debates over like the new RoboCop movie and is it going to be worth seeing? And everyone's like, up in arms and stuff, and I'm like, this is reality.
This isn't what adults do.
This is not what adults. I'm like, I remember my dad getting up at 5 a.m. to get on the train to get to work by 7:30 in Orange County, and then like working till 6, and then coming back and working till like 8. On something else. And I still work those hours. Obviously, it's late at night and we're still doing this, but I don't remember him enjoying it as much as we did.
Right. Well, that's the thing when I look at my friends who still live in Chicago, right? Like, I have two like a medical doctor, a physician doctor, like a what do you call them? The ones like crack your back chiropractors and all them.
Yeah. Have you ever been a chiropractor by the way?
No.
It's an intense.
Yeah.
Okay,
experience.
Nick is old.
And then like, and, you
No,
know,
my wife, by the way, and I love her to death, and she's not old in any way, shape, or form, but she sure acts old. She always needs to be adjusted. She needs an adjustment. I gotta get an adjustment. I'm all out of alignment. What? Sorry, continue.
No, it's fine. When I talk to them, they seem like the adults, right? They have the children. They have the adult jobs. They are opening their own businesses and like doing all these different. You putting the cap on them? You don't care. He'll do it.
Oh, boo.
And so, like, for me, like, what we do, like, I always talk about it, you know, that even on a bad day at IGN, I still consider that, or this, you know, a vacation, right? Like, I remember being a reporter and having to cover shit that sucked and, like, you know, you're not super interested in, but you were reporting on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not what it is here. So, like, for me, the adult I always talk about it, too. If you ever want to see, like, how non-adults we all are, like, remember when we made the switch when we got bought by Ziff, and suddenly we all had to make new health plans and 401ks.
Stuff,
Everyone panics and turns to each other, and no one knows what's happening.
There's not one.
Colin had never been more in demand, and Colin would just be like, "I only know the basics about any of this, and I will not be in charge of your financial ruin."
Because I remember having to. I actually, a good friend of mine, Dave Jed, was like, he now works at Apple. He got a great job. And he was there, and he worked. His like grandfather's financial advisor was like, "Oh, I'll tell you what to invest in," and I was like. I had a flashback moment to high school calculus when I was like, dude, let me copy off you. Yeah. My 401k investment, I was like, I want to just know what you're going to do and hear your perspective on that because I don't know how the hell they don't teach you that stuff unless you go to business school. And even then, it's like no one teaches you what Fidelity, you know, 401k. I mean, Colin knows his stuff because he's religious about it. But
well, I like to study that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm not – I lost a ton of money on my 401k after the fucking crash. But the you know, I don't know. I just feel like my life as a teenager was a cartoon, and my life in college was a fucking real cartoon that I barely remember.
Yeah,
and it was awesome. It's one of the best times of my life.
What college? What did you go to again?
Northeastern University.
Northeastern. Okay.
And that was an amazing time in my life. But when I became an adult, I'm having fun and I have great friends. Like we're sitting here. And doing, you know, I have like you said, I have a wonderful job that's like totally, you know, a blessing, and it's a great way to spend your 20s, and I hope they get to do it for a long time. But it's
a little different in your 30s.
Yeah, but like it's just, I just remember like it's all about context, like, and I guess that's what I'm saying is that like you don't when you have I remember when I broke my shoulder, my collarbone in high school, and I couldn't work for a few months. I had $500, and I was like,
I'm good.
Who gives a shit? You know,
I'm flush with money right now.
And I like didn't even go back to work for a long time.
Right.
I was like, well, where do I go to the movies and like.
I mean, I just
buy beer.
One of those things in that got cut from that 23 things you know you're grown up was you don't check your bank account anymore when you buy a 99-cent app. But I used to do that. I used to have to calculate if I wanted to get drinks how many I could get before I went to zero and negative in my bank account.
IGN when IGN wrote this, there's an article accompanying this, right? Like when you knew you grew up as a gamer. The one I submitted was when I bought my first $60 game without thinking about it.
Yeah.
I didn't jump in to see if I could. I didn't put on a credit card. I'm like, I know I have that much in the bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you don't even think about it. You're like, wait a second, I'm buying stuff and not immediately checking over or moving money or thinking about it. You know what I mean? But like for me, this is like I still don't think of myself as a grown up by any stretch of the imagination.
You're not.
Thank you.
Colin knows.
Colin for sure knows that I'm the bigger man child, that I'm just the big baby here of the house. But I had this, you know, in the Missouri Tigers. They just won the Cotton Bowl not too long ago. I went out and watched that game, had a few drinks. Then I started talking to some students at the University of Missouri, some of which are Antlers. I'm a former Antler. There's this student group that goes crazy. They're not officially sanctioned because they're really mean.
Were you the president of that
I was.
group?
I was the Grand Poobah of the Antlers.
There's a Grand Poobah?
Every year, yeah. Yeah,
That's so cool.
I was my junior year.
Wasn't there a Flintstone Grand Poobah?
Yes, there was.
Is that where you got it
Yep.
from?
No, we didn't get it. In 1976, the Antlers were founded, so it's been around a lot longer.
And they were like, we like the Flintstones, so we'll call it a Grand Poobah.
I think it was just like we need a dumb title for somebody to go talk.
Yeah.
When we get in trouble and when we need to talk to the press, there needs to be one person to do it. And they were like, Grand Poobah.
Yeah, okay.
Clearly, we won't be around in 30 years, so it won't matter what we call it.
30 years later, you're like, what up?
But I was talking to some of them, and they were talking about. I'm like, I'm a little drunk. I'm texting from home, or direct messaging from home. I'm like, yeah, let me know about any of the events. I want to come back. I want to come to Antlerfest, which is this huge party every year. I want to come to Kreuzening, which is like the initiation night, or where you induct new members and stuff. And I'm brushing my teeth while doing this, and I shut the phone down, and like mid brush, I spit and I walked out, and I'm like, Christine, I'm old. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just texted these kids that I want to come do that. I'm like, I can't do that. She's like, of course you can't do that. I'm like, what would happen if I went there and like That would be a headline. 30-year-old Greg Miller arrested alongside underage drinking kids in college.
I don't see that being anywhere near or different than what you do on a daily basis.
I don't go out drinking with underage kids at their house.
That's true.
That would be the story.
It's like Almost Famous when you're just on the roof.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh,
my golden
or whatever.
God.
I'm Golden God, and you just jump off into the pool.
Yeah, it's just the other thing. I was talking to a buddy of mine. I went out to dinner with him this weekend. We were talking about being old and not wanting to go out anymore, and I was telling him, I'm like, that's true, because there was a time, like, it's so funny, especially people that only know me like from California. Like, there was a time when I loved to hang out and loved to party, and like, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, totally.
I'm just like, I don't want to go out. Leave me alone. On New Year's Eve, I was like, Greg, you want to go to dinner? Because I don't really, and we'll be back by fucking 9 o'clock.
We'll be back by 9 o'clock, and we'll watch Red Dawn on Netflix. I'm like,
the new one with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this question: when you watched that movie, did it occur to you? Did you ask yourself why they cast the main character, that actor? Because I did not think he was very good. The
Chris
brother?
Hemsworth?
No, not Chris. The other one that was like the brother.
Oh, from Josh and Drake,
That's
that kid?
tripping me out right now. Why is that doing that?
It's how my computer screensaver works.
It's-
Turn off the
it's
main
got
monitor.
like
Turn it off. The main monitor, not that one.
It's like causing me to like have.
It's like an epileptic thing. I don't know. That's how computers work. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, I didn't care for him that much in that role. They didn't look like brothers the entire time.
What do I care? It's Drake and Josh kid, the one who lost all the weight. You know who I'm talking about.
Josh.
He had a weird list.
Thank you.
He has a weird list,
That's
and
his
then you
thing.
got Chris Hemsworth as like a golden god. Why couldn't they get Liam Hemsworth?
Can't afford-
His
you can't-
actual brother.
You can't bring two Hemsworths
Two
together like
Hemsworths
that. That's
is too much.
They look too much alike. Number one, too.
All right.
Hemsworth.
But no, this is showing back. Like, we have friends who still go and do stuff. Like Damon. Damon does DJ sets. When Damon sends out his new DJ set and it's on a Friday, I'm like, motherfucker. After an entire week of work,
So
I do
hard.
not want to go out at 9. He starts at like 10 o'clock. I'm like, I don't want to go out at 10 o'clock. And I do it, and I'm just like pissed the whole time drinking my beer. I'm just like, I'm tired. I should be playing DC Universe. It's been a long week.
It all kind of fits together like a puzzle, though, because I have more money and I'm more secure and feel better about myself and more like an adult, because I don't do those things anymore. I don't want to do those things anymore because I'm old. And I'm old, so I do those things with my money. It's like it all kind of makes sense when they're interconnected with each other. 20-year-old Colin, reckless abandon.
Yeah.
Didn't give a
Well,
fuck
I
about
think that's how
anything.
it's supposed to be, though, right? It's not even so much. People would always say, "Oh, sowing your wild oats." It's just living those experiences. After a while, going out to the bar only happens so many times where it's not the exact same experience. And if you're watching at home, yes, they're texting back and forth across the table. God only knows what about. I can only imagine what
Tim,
the fuck is happening.
sometimes I'll run a couple topics by Tim beforehand just to get his.
Will you
just
ever
to get
just
it.
stop being a pussy?
No, I
Are you
like
ever going to
to-
stop being that fat kid shadowboxing in the backyard and just fucking throw a punch?
I literally used to do it shirtless too.
No.
Because I thought, and this
Please
is why.
don't. You
This is
tie
why.
like a black band around your head.
This is why I used to do it shirtless, because it's gonna sound really fucked up. I got a lot of weight issues that are really messed up, but I used to do it shirtless because I used to catch myself, like glimpses of myself in the front glass, and I wasn't good enough. I would like look at myself. And it would be a motivational tactic. I was like, "You're still fat. You gotta fit into that."
Stop
the
eating
soundtrack?
and no eating after 9 o'clock.
And I would go in and I would stare.
9:45.
I would stare at these little tiny Sunny D's that my mom would get from Costco. She'd get like a 50-pack of the individual Sunny D's, and I'd be like, "I'm not gonna drink you tonight." And then I'd walk out of the room, and then I'd walk back in and drink one because I can't say no. To
What's
Sunny
so
D.
weird is like
Sunny D's
finally,
gross.
it's like there's this line chasm right here where like here's you with your stories, but it's like a mirror, right? And then on the other side is Mike Drucker with his stories, and they're the same stories just with a much different slant on the events.
No, Mike
Yours
Drucker-
are kind of like sad. I'm like, I'm so sorry, and Drucker's just like, I'm horrible, and that's what his joke is.
Yeah, Drucker just like Drucker has really sad stories. I have a lot of really sad stories. Like I was that kid that would not take his shirt off when he went into the pool. I was the kid that like when we had the senior trip to the beach, I was like, ugh, I don't want to take my shirt off because all these girls that think I'm the funny guy that's kind of cute will not think that anymore because I'm a chubba-lub, And it was sad.
Good lord.
Yeah, and eventually I had to get over it because I was just like, everyone's got something about their body they don't like, and in reality, like, you just get beyond it, and I lost a little bit of weight beyond. But
used
when
to
you're in high school, boy, it sucks because I spent my high school and my college career, like everyone talks about their college career, how amazing it was for them. I spent the majority of mine like super overweight, and I didn't have fun. I had fun because I had great friends and we go to parties and it would be cool, but it was like I was always the funny friend, that's why I always push you. I'm like, don't be people's friends. If they have female parts, don't be their friend. Don't be on the friend zone. Don't be on that friend ladder. It's hard to get off.
I'm a good friend.
Nice on the girlfriend
You're
ladder.
a good friend. No, that you scoreboarded like a smoking hot blonde Texan.
Texan. There you go.
Do you love her?
Oh my God.
You gonna marry her?
When you guys
Don't
gonna
ask
get
him. They haven't talked about love yet. Don't get into love.
She doesn't watch this. Nobody watches this.
No, she does watch this.
What the hell
She's
is
not gonna
that?
make it this. No one makes it this far in our podcast. We're like an hour in.
It's impressive.
If you
It's
you're
really
falling
impressive.
asleep right now if you've listened this far. What's
Tim.
up, Kyle?
Do you consider yourself an adult yet?
So I did have a moment that I realized. So like, majority of my life, I am not old. I am a dumb.
No, you're
young.
You, no,
little-
you
How
think
old are you
are
right now?
You think
24.
you are, but what's
24,
funny is
everybody.
that-
24
years old. Jesus.
Live it up.
And like, I feel like a baby in a lot of ways, but then at the same time, like, I can't imagine a time before IGN. It's been like 4 years now that I've been here, and like that's crazy to me. Like these 4 years feel like my life. Like before that was like, I must have been a baby then, because now I'm not an adult, but whatever the hell I am, it's somewhere in between. And like I'd say every couple months, me and Alfredo will have a moment where we'll look at each other and we'll be like, this is actually happening. Like we're really doing whatever it is, the dumb thing we're actually doing.
Like wearing onesies.
There was a $30,000 camera in front of us wearing onesies as we're saying stupid jokes. Like it blows my mind. Right. Talking to Greg blows my mind.
He's a big deal.
Having somebody that like actually cares about what I'm doing blows my mind.
Yeah.
Colin,
I was gonna say, and knowing Colin,
it's crazy. But like it's insane to me. And it's one of those things eventually you just start taking for granted. But then there is those moments that bring you back where you're like, what is happening? And recently, one of my best friends, Kevin Coelho, has this girlfriend. I've known him since I was 4. He is a year younger than me, so he's 23. His girlfriend's 22. I was hanging out at his house. The 3 of us hang out all the time. And this was around Halloween, and I was hanging out with him. And then she comes home, and she's like, hey, my friends are having a Halloween party. Do you guys want to come? I'm like, well, sure, whatever. Like, she's like, oh yeah, Tim, you can come. It's fine. So we go and we're just hanging out, and she does animation for college, which is similar to our field, video and stuff like that. And so it's with all of her animation friends. And we go, and then the second we get there,
I've heard this story. I love this story.
The second we get there, I'm like,
this is an awesome story.
oh man, everyone looks young. Like, damn, this is what college kids look like. I thought this was high school kids.
Yeah, they might as well be junior
And
high.
it's that moment when you're like, when you're in middle school, high schoolers look old. Then you get in high school and you're like, man, middle schoolers look young. College kids look old. And then as you get older, it's just like they all look the same.
Yeah.
And so now college kids are looking like high school kids. And I'm like, I'm still a college kid in my head. I'm like, I'm totally still a college kid.
yeah, 24, man.
Yeah. And then I'm realizing, man, I haven't been in college in like 3 years. And then I'm like, these kids look young. And some girl comes up to me and just starts talking, and it totally not in a like.
This is before you had a girlfriend.
Yeah,
It's
but
okay.
but
you're in the
even
safety
then,
zone.
it wasn't
You're
in
in the
a
safety
like.
zone.
I mean,
It wasn't in that way.
They haven't talked exclusivity yet, so Tim's still allowed to stray.
You've talked
We're exclusive. We're good. I'm off the market, ladies.
Don't tell him that. Don't wear the wedding.
I'm not
ring.
clapping.
Don't wear the wedding. ring.
I like that. Anyways, me and this girl weren't talking about. It wasn't talking like that. We were just talking, and then she was like, "Oh, I hear you work at IGN."
You want to call her real quick? Conference call her,
Good
right,
Lord.
Greg?
The girl he's talking to at the party?
Let him tell his
No.
story.
Okay, I'm sorry. Tell the story. Tell the
I'm
story.
gonna finish
Sorry,
it quick.
Mom.
So this girl's talking to me. Girl's talking to me, and she finds out I work at IGN, and then it turns into oh, you work at IGN, and that happens a lot where it's like, okay, cool, like now you're gonna talk to me and like try to learn from me and shit. I'm like, cool, that's cool. And she's like, oh, that's cool, how'd it happen, whatever, and we're just
What's
going
Greg
like this.
Miller like?
Yeah, exactly. Doing all this stuff,
Does
and
he
then
smell like chicken wings?
and then she stops and she looks at me. She goes, "Oh, wait, why are you here?" And it broke my heart.
Now,
That-
that's not what she meant by it, though. She didn't mean like, why are you hanging out with a bunch of like kids?
So that's the
Why
thing.
are you here?
Yeah, exactly. She didn't mean it in like you're being a creepy old guy.
Yeah.
She meant it in a like
You're
an
better than
adult-
you're
an
successful.
adult.
You're better than this.
You should be partying with Nick.
I didn't
Scarpino.
take it that way. I knew she
Right.
meant it that way, but inside I was like, I don't belong here.
And you just
This
shriveled
is
up and walked
horrible.
away.
And that's when you made her your girlfriend.
No.
Did you make out with her?
No. She was like
15.
very young.
She was not 15.
I don't know. I don't know. But like
I will bet dollars I know
yeah,
it's
she was not 15. But anyways, it was just a weird experience.
Yeah.
And like Nick Scarpino just went through my head and I was like, fuck.
Whoa, why? Whoa. Why did I go through your head
No,
in that specific
you went through my
instance?
head at that moment. It's just like
every
he's
bad
going to
piece of
appreciate
advice
this.
you've ever given him goes into this.
No, I think you meant because I always feel old around you guys.
Well, there's that, but I was like, man, Nick's gonna love this.
Because
Would you
were
say
always
that
like-
when something comes up, when you were single and you were out on the prowl, you've told me before that Nick Scarpino ran through giving you
some-
the bad advice, the Nick Scarpino advice.
I mean, hey, bad.
Not
subjective
not
word.
talking about details, but that's come in handy on one or two occasions that I can think of. My advice to you.
See, Nick Scarpino peaked as a human being about 3 months before he got married. And so now he's trying to you peaked as a human being 3 months before he got married. So now you're taking those 3 months and projecting it all into him.
I really am.
You're like,
I
take
feel-
all
I
the
feel so
knowledge
bad
I
about
have.
It's vicarious living.
He's the Obi-Wan in my
living-
head that's just like, use the Force, Tim.
Or your hand.
He's
Or your
saying
hand, whichever
He's
one.
saying different things, but like it works out great for some people.
For some people, it is. I am living vicariously through you. You know, my good friend Brennan, we'll talk about that too a lot. He's like, he calls you guys the young guns. You and Alex and Finnegan and all the guys that I work with now, because you can do all the things that I no longer can do. You're 10 years younger. You're still having those first relationships that are serious and enjoying all the stuff that comes along with that. You look great. You know, you haven't started balding yet. You probably won't.
He's got a fantastic
great hairline.
I like it.
So yeah, I do project that a little bit, and I don't mean to.
Tim's gonna look dope as like an older dude.
He's
I'm
gonna
excited.
You're gonna be like the Dermot
some white
Mulroney
man.
of old men.
Yeah.
You're gonna look like the Dermot
I want to look like
Mulroney.
Big Boss.
Which one's he?
It's my
The guy
goal.
from
The gay
The
one from
wedding
my
date?
best friend's wedding?
No, that's Rupert Everett.
Thank you.
Dermot Mulroney is the guy from
From
the
The
wedding
Practice.
date.
Oh!
That guy's good
Okay, so hold on.
looking.
Dial me back then. He's in my best friend's wedding as the groom. The groom, right?
No, not that's Patrick.
Jesus
that's-
fucking
that's-
Christ.
That's the dude from Scream and like Can't Hardly Wait. But
That guy was
Buy
not
Me
in
Love.
Scream.
Yeah, he was.
Was he in
Grey's
Scream?
Anatomy. He played the cop. Scream 2. Excuse me. I think it was in Scream 2. Patrick Dempsey is that guy's name. That's who
No,
you're
that is
thinking
not
of.
who I'm thinking.
Oh, who are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of the guy, the groom from my best friend's wedding.
Oh.
I'm on the case.
All right, you go with it. So, was that it? Did we go around that?
Yeah.
Colin's walking away.
Yeah.
Colin's done with the show.
I have a quick topic.
Why are you? I don't like that you always do this. I have a quick topic.
It's never quick.
You always like brush off your topics. Like I have a great one. I'm saving.
No, I don't have any great
You're a
ones.
monster.
All my topics suck. But this actually came from Twitter. So,
No, see, I'm
What do you
right. Dermot Mulroney
Oh, is it
or
Dermot
whatever
Mulroney?
the fuck his name is. Yeah.
oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
good
there he
looking.
is.
The frog?
Oh, he's a great looking
He's a
guy.
good
Not
looking
Kermit the
guy.
Frog.
Yes, Kermit Mulroney the Frog.
It's not easy being him.
Okay, you can stop at that now. There he is.
So, Tim, I didn't tell you this part when we talked about my topic, but it's actually a little different.
Trying to push out your gut,
Good.
make yourself look fat again. Be a fake team fat guy.
So we'll do 2 rounds of this. This is a little
Two
game.
rounds of a game.
This is a little game I like to call Marry, Boff, Kill.
Everyone's familiar with this. This
Everyone's
is an
familiar with
old
this game.
standby. It was a big part of TRL back in the day.
But there's a twist to this. This comes from Alex Flanagan at Alex Flanagan.
A big
on Twitter.
time GameOverGreggy / IGN fan. Thank
He
you.
says, Nick, I just thought of the perfect question for the at GameOverGreggy. Well, he says, screw Marry, Kill, but Marry, Boff, Kill. But we have to pick the 3 of us. It's between us.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, Tim,
Fuck.
out of the 3 of us, Marry, Boff, Kill. Go for it.
Oh, I need to go
You're
first.
going to marry me. You know you're going to because we're life partners
Don't
already.
fucking shove it down his
I'm
throat.
just putting it out there.
This is hard. This is really hard.
Colin's like falling asleep. He doesn't care about
No,
this
Colin's
topic.
thinking.
No,
He's in
this,
thought.
this is
thinking
a
about
hard. This is hard for me to think on.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think I know.
Oh man.
I'll go.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this one.
All right. I'd probably marry Tim.
Why?
Yeah, we're already working together like 90% of the
Yeah,
time anyway. It doesn't
okay.
matter. I'd probably have sex with Colin, and then I'd kill you just because I want to go down in history as the dude that killed Greg Miller.
Fine with me.
Like Lennon the shit out of you.
Sure, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, John Lennon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was the guy that killed John Lennon? Not Sergei. What's his name?
Sirhan Sirhan?
Sirhan Surratt, yeah.
He did it for Jodie Foster.
When you said go Lennon, I thought you were talking about the Lennon like.
No.
Take my body around, tour it around
Put
the
him,
city.
put him in state for show him in state for 100 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
That's good.
For me, it's gonna be Marry, Boff, Kill. I'm
Yeah.
marrying Colin.
You're already married to Colin.
He's great with
basically.
money. I'm already married to him for all intents and purposes. We have a great home already. He's getting better. Like we're both upgrading the place left and right. It's like a good,
It really looks great, by the way.
it's a great Minecraft game we got going on right now. Gonna get some good furniture here in a little bit. Marry, Boff. I fucked the shit out of Nick Scarpino.
You bang me?
But I'd probably let Nick fuck me.
Yeah,
Because Nick is
that's still
experienced.
Both ways? Or we just do that. It would just be I'd be top, you'd be bottom.
I'm a bottom. You're my top.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
You look like you could take me to Pleasure Town. You
You're
look
so close to me when you're saying this. It's becoming a
What's
little.
wrong with it? It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm just saying.
I'm getting a little like turned on.
You strike me as someone who's more experienced sexually than me.
I enjoy experimentation.
Exactly.
And I really am courteous to my partner's needs.
You'd break it down through humor too as we did things.
I like to giggle while we while we roll around.
Giggle while we work.
I need more of that in my life.
There's no point in wrestling if you're going to take it seriously. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I killed him.
Like
Tim's too young. He's got his whole life ahead of him. It's got.
Like,
I'm not gonna marry Tim because
I don't know shit.
No, it's not even that. It's just that I don't want to lock you down. You don't want to get married this young. Take it from me, kids. And then I don't want to have sex with him because two inexperienced guys rolling around. It's not gonna go well.
Not good at all.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that would be very bad for both of us.
Yeah.
So Colin's just like, why did they bring this topic?
No. It's funny because I came to the exact same conclusion, Greg, that I would marry Greg because Greg. Greg's already my life partner, and here's the thing that I always laugh about, and I actually laugh about with Greg's girlfriend, is that there was time when Greg was like, I don't know if we want to live here anymore, and maybe we shouldn't, live together. It wasn't even about us. It was just like,
no, it wasn't about us at all.
Sure.
Yeah,
but like I was telling Christine, I'm like, Greg and I are like, when I say Greg and I are gonna live together for a really long time.
You mean you guys are gonna be the old guys in rocking chairs?
I won't lie to you. It's like when we were both single, you would make the joke, and me and Christine got back together, we had been apart for a little bit. When we came back together, you would make the joke and continue to that. Like eventually, me and Christine would just have a house, and you live in the basement. Yeah. And now that you have a girlfriend, it's like, oh well, that's not gonna. And now how are we gonna find a house that's like this house that has enough room for both of us?
Yeah, like I feel like I talked to Christine about this and my girlfriend too a little bit. It was just like, I really feel like we're just never gonna leave this place. Like I can't even imagine.
I wouldn't leave this place.
I won't leave this place to leave San Francisco. Really,
yeah. That's exactly the way I feel when I bounce out of the Bay Area. Then I'll
go down to sunny Southern California.
I would also fuck Nick for very similar reasons because, he's got experience. I feel like we can teach each other some things. I feel like
we'd learn a lot.
I feel like
this is a great.
But I also
topic.
I also feel like you're very candid and straightforward. And as a lover, I would appreciate that about you.
Yeah, I would have to tell you what pleasures me, what
Nick,
doesn't.
you're not. Let's talk, Brad. Let's have a little postmortem on this and see what.
I just missed a phone call from Mrs. Tim Geddes.
Call her back. We go wait.
You get to talk. I don't like talking.
Okay.
And then I would kill Tim because he's too young, he's too vibrant, he's too good looking.
I love this.
Yeah.
And I can't be around that.
Yeah.
You just gotta leave me on a roof.
Yeah.
And I'm
Hello.
screwed.
Kara.
I was just leaving you a message on your voicemail.
Well, luckily for you, you can leave a message for about 30 to 35,000 people right now because we are in the middle of. This is Nick, by the way. I answered Greg's phone. We called you back from Greg's phone. How are you?
I am great. How are you? Who is this?
This is Nick. We met at Damon's Halloween party. You were dressed as Britney Spears. I was a dirty Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was Ben Kenobi, the sexy Ben Kenobi. Colin,
I was very sexy.
You were there as what?
I said you were very sexy.
I was good looking. I manscaped a little bit that night, but not as much as I should have. What are you doing?
I'm worried about this in the best way.
What time is it in Austin, Texas right now?
It is 10:52.
What are you doing at 10:52 in Austin, Texas? Are you watching TV?
I'm watching the new South Park or a new South Park.
That's great. So we didn't get a chance to talk to you last week about this, but congratulations.
Yay!
It sounds like yay. Tim mentioned to us that you two are betrothed.
What?
To one another.
This isn't betrothed.
Portilla, come here.
I haven't heard that term in a while, but sure.
That's nice too.
Oh, so you are betrothed.
He said,
Oh,
he says
betrothed means.
you guys are exclusive now. You're off the market.
Hey, also, I loved the video with Tim and Alberto, and I think I saw you at the beginning with Greg.
Yeah, Greg and I try to put ourselves in so we can stay relevant before Tim and Alfredo take over the world.
Guess what? I tweeted that shit. It was at 104,000 when I tweeted it, and now it's at like 114.
That's because you have like 90,000 Twitter followers, and it's easy being a cute blonde, isn't it?
Congrats to you guys, because it was an awesome video.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
why
you.
don't
We had a lot of fun
why don't you
making it.
tweet one of the Game Over Greggy shows?
No, it's not gonna happen. Well, she's gonna tweet this one because she's on it.
Right.
So I guess that was a good conversation. I'll give you back to Greg now because Tim has to actually. Why don't you hang on the line? Tim has to tell us the topic of conversation right now is Marry, Boff, Kill. Are you familiar with this game? This is a game where you pick
Mary Fuck Kill.
3
I'm
people.
sorry, can I cuss? Sorry.
What's that?
Can I cuss?
You can cuss. Yeah, it's fine.
Did you say Mary Fuck Kill?
That's another way of saying it. Yes, that's actually the more fun way of saying it when it comes out of a girl's mouth.
Okay.
So Tim was just going to enlighten us as to who he would marry, who he would have sex with, and who he would kill out of the 4 of us. So Tim, why don't you go ahead and take it away? Here.
It's us. It's the cast of this show.
So, okay, let's see.
Wait, hold on. Let me get the phone over by you. I'm going to give it to your beloved.
Why?
Because
so
you can
Okay,
talk and she can hear
okay.
you.
Hold on. So, I feel like I have to start by saying I can't marry Colin because you would hate me.
Yeah, you guys would not get along.
Yeah, and
Why?
well, I care a lot about what my significant other thinks about me.
You really do.
I do.
Uh-huh.
It's a fact. It's a fact. I want to make them happy at all times. I cannot make Colin happy.
Hold it.
Hold on, you wait your turn.
Hold it in
Hold on
front.
1 second.
Hold it in front of the mic so we can.
Okay,
hear it.
okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, I can't make Colin happy.
What do you mean?
So you have to
When
kill.
make
Do you have to
Colin
kill him?
unhappy?
Are you gonna kill Colin?
That's the thing. Because I just feel like I can't make him happy sexually, and I can't make him happy, like, life partner either.
So you gotta kill
You
him.
don't know if you can make me happy sexually or not because we haven't tried.
We haven't.
You wouldn't be able to make him happy sexually, or else I'd be worried.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that, but also just I just don't think I could.
Colin's
So
very-
Now it's
by
down to
default-
us.
As Colin's one and only, I can tell you he's very demanding.
Yes,
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
So I would have to kill you by default just because of that.
That's fair.
Between you two, that's hard.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
See, here's the thing.
You would have sex with me.
I would have to bang you.
You would have to bang
I'd
me.
have to bang
Just
Nick.
to say you could. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Greg would be an awesome.
And
life
also,
partner.
no, yeah.
You ooze sex appeal is the problem
It's
with
the
you.
beard.
It's the beard.
That's
It's the
fine.
look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I
marrying
wear
Greg,
big shirts, so it's like carefree.
Yeah, you
know?
need to wear tighter shirts. A lot of people think I've lost weight. It's just because I wear tighter clothes.
I think it's because I'm sitting next to you and you look skinny by relation to me.
No, you look skinny in relation to me.
I don't know.
All right, whatever.
All right.
Anyways,
I-
what's
I
our
would-
married life like?
marrying Greg's good because you're successful and stuff, and that's good.
Wow.
I'm
You're going
I'll be
places.
Greg's
You're
trophy
going
wife,
places.
Okay.
and that'll
okay,
be fun.
Okay.
That's gonna bring me places.
When we
Fun places.
Those are my exact choices if I were you and I were to choose. Like, you weren't.
So you want to bang Nick, is what you're telling me.
I would still Colin because that's my brother's name, and I would never be able to marry or have sex with my brother.
Okay.
That's fine. That's reasonable.
Colin's out. And same reason for you on both of them.
Oh no, I don't count. You can't use me.
You can use. Well, I mean,
And
yeah,
the
you
same
gotta.
reason for you is
Oh,
why your brother
okay.
was
So
Greg and
she's
Fat
saying
Cat.
she'd pick the same.
So you
thing.
want to bang Nick and Greg? Is
Who
a
wouldn't
trope.
want to bang? Like,
Kara, I'm fine with that.
watch.
When are you gonna be in San Francisco again? We'll hang out.
You watch the Up at New with Nick in the sexy Jedi costume.
Yeah.
Even Sam Whitwer wanted to bang you, I'm sure.
The jet. No, I'm not gonna say that.
Who's-
Never mind.
Whitaker? Oh, Forrest Whitaker is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Remember him?
Whitwer.
Is he
Sam
alive
Whitwer.
still?
Forrest Whitaker
Yeah,
just did the
well,
Butler.
and
Good
I know
movie.
Greg,
Good
and
movie.
Greg would keep me laughing every single day, so I would marry him.
That's what I do.
There
They
you
call
go.
me the joke.
There you go.
They call him the joker.
Okay, well, Kara, this has been fun. We're gonna let you go. I will call you later. Okay.
Alright.
Thanks, Kara.
Thanks, Kara.
Bye.
We'll call you next week, same time.
Shut up.
What'd you say?
What?
Were y'all laughing at me?
No, what'd you
No.
say?
We couldn't hear you. You were saying goodbye.
Huh?
We were saying bye.
We're hanging up on you now.
Okay.
Bye.
Awkward.
Stupid. That's not Kara's fault. That is just the microphone on Tim's or on Greg's iPhone 5.
I think it's your fault. I think it's your fault.
Get a
not-
5S.
Shut
for
up.
Christ's sake.
I don't need an
Look at
iPhone
this watch.
5S.
Ooh, I just did my fingerprint. Now the government knows exactly what porn I watch at night.
I don't care. I want the government to know everything. I don't care.
That's true.
Share all the information.
So thanks, Alex Flanagan. That was really fun. That was a good topic. If you
That was
guys
a
have
really
any
good
more
one.
topics, feel free to tweet at any of us. You guys know Greg probably won't put them up. I
won't put 'em up, what?
Well, the Twitter right now because
They pop up all the time.
It's too far into the
People,
episode.
yeah, no, I'm not gonna look for this part, but I mean, people see it like 7 times an episode.
Tweet at us if you have questions. I love asking them. It helps me not have to think, which is my favorite.
I'm
part
glad
of
we
the day.
brought up one that was homoerotic too.
We always do. We always talk a little bit of Home Alone.
Yeah, but I feel like we've talked about it before, right? We worry about our thumbnails being alienating and stuff, and our
this
headlines
one's gonna
too.
be great because I feel like Tim's gonna put a picture of you with your shirt off.
The
and
four
all
of us together, and it'd be like, which one Mary Boff killed? These
we should
guys.
take a picture of all of us with our shirts off after this, and we'll make the thumbnail.
I was just thinking, it's funny you say just that because
Which part? The shirts off?
no, like you were saying, like there's like a homoerotic thing going on,
Right.
Whatever. And it is what it is, whatever. But
Well,
I was thinking that when I was thinking about like when I marry Greg,
Yeah.
there is like a romantic love that like a sort of romantic.
You guys
love that
have
I
a
for
little
Greg.
bit of a man, like
And
a
I don't mean
bromance
that, and I
together.
don't mean that like I want to have sex with Greg. I mean that like I have very strong feelings for Greg.
Sure. We talked
Yeah.
about. I mean,
Yeah.
we talked this weekend. We did. This is weekend 2. This past weekend, of me laying on the love seat, playing DC Universe on one screen while we watched football on another. And there were several times that day, and we ate wings again for lunch that day. And there were several times that day where I'd get up to go to the bathroom and I would pat you on the shoulder to tell you I love you, because that's my way of telling you how great a time I am having.
Yeah, so
this is such a good fucking day.
when we first started hanging out and doing like GameOverGreggy stuff, I remember I was leaving and I was like, well, thanks and if you and I have kind of a professional relationship at work. We got up and we really haven't fraternized that much up until that point. And I was leaving the house and I was like, bye Greg, and you're like, bye Nick, love you, and I was like, good. And I was like, I want to express that back, but now will he think it's sincere because I've waited too long? And I was like, I love you too, bro.
I'm a
And I
big
made it, like,
hugger.
massive.
I'm a
That's
big I
so
love
funny.
you. I want to let people know that.
I say I love you a lot. I actually say I love you to my brother, my actual brother, and it's
I'd
one
hope
of
you
those. It's one of those moments because like we had never talked that way before, right? I say I love you to my mom, never really too much to my dad, but there I watched this one movie called We Own the Night. Not a great movie, but it's about two brothers who go through
Sequel to Stomp the Yard?
No.
Okay.
No, that's close though. It's Joaquin
Did they ever
Phoenix.
say Thorpe at any point in this movie?
No, I don't think so.
Because there's a song called Thorpe, We Own the Night. I've never got it.
So no, that's not right. At the end of this movie, after these two brothers go through all this stuff, and it's a crazy plot. It doesn't make much sense. One's a cop, one's kind of a
Drug
criminal,
major.
comes back to become a cop, and then they go after this Russian mob. It's crazy. Brother almost dies. The dad dies in the movie. Spoilers. And at the end, the brother's receiving this award, and they're up on the stage together, and there's the guy's giving the speech, and it just cuts to them. It's like a slow dolly into them, and Mark Wahlberg looks over to his brother Joaquin Phoenix, and he goes, "I love you," and Joaquin Phoenix goes, "I love you too." And ever since that moment, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking tell my brother I love him every time.
That's
I
good.
see him.
That's good.
Every time I see him, because that meant so much to me. I actually called my brother after I saw that. I was like, "Hey, dude, what are
Were
you
you
doing?"
sobbing?
No, I wasn't sobbing. But I'm getting teared up right now because my brother and I were best friends before I moved up here.
Yeah.
And now I get to see him maybe twice a year if I'm lucky. He came up. He surprised me on my birthday. He came up last weekend.
Glad I got to meet
For a
him.
thing.
Glad that was big. I'm glad the most
No, I'm
important
keeping
people
it
in your
myself.
lives.
I'm like, whoa, you'll meet my
Dude,
brother one day.
Nick's
and he is
brother
like me, but on crack.
Is the best.
He's insane.
Like, if you think you like Nick,
Yeah.
woo.
Okay. Good job hiding him then.
Oh man,
Because
he's
you
like
don't want to
me.
meet. It's like kind of with Ramon, right? Where it's like I love Colin, but I fucking love Ramon. God, if only they could trade places.
I want to meet Ramon one day, and I want
I'll
to
get
call
him out here.
Ramon.
I'll get him out here. I gotta just fly him out.
He's got to be a guest. Yeah, we should fly him out on the GameOverGreggy budget.
We could.
All $10 of it.
Please,
come up
we're
with
starting a
$400
Kickstarter to get Ramon.
to get Ramon. People,
Right.
we could contribute to that. That'd be fun.
Kickstart anything else.
I know.
Now, bromance is a big thing, though.
It is. It's a
like
real
what you
thing.
guys just talked about. Like,
Well, like
legit, me and Alfredo, this is really weird sounding now that I'm thinking about it, but we would call each other playing different games. This is before online play.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wouldn't even be talking.
Sure.
Didn't know each other was there. It was weird.
No,
we would
You
do
guys
that
are
normally.
basically brothers.
See, this is my problem with like I've led a campaign for a while on Game Scoop and whatever because me and Damon forever, of course, hetero life partners as well. We talk
You got
about
a
that
lot
all
of
the time.
hetero life partners.
I do. Well, actually, just what Damon and Colin, and I think Brian's come up recently. Actually, good point. Altano,
Yeah.
because we're
Are you guys super tight?
Altano?
Yeah.
Not-
You work closely together. You guys do great work.
We
on the
go
show.
out on the weekends once in a while.
Sure.
But it's the same thing of just like, you know.
But like Colin is like literally if like
no,
for
yes,
instance, if
clearly
you're-
Colin is with me all the time.
if like by some freak accident, I'm not saying this should ever happen. God forbid, hope it doesn't. But if by some freak accident, your two significant others decide to depart
Sure.
this earth, I honestly believe there would be a 50-50 shot that you two spend the rest of your lives together. You two.
Just living in the same house.
You live in the same house. Maybe at some point you're like, screw it, you move into the same room. 'Cause
I'd
it's
learn to love
you don't,
again.
you
We
don't
tell
need the
people that
other-
we live in the same room.
You don't.
Yeah, we
need-
do the heart-shaped bed joke.
I honestly, and this is not any sort of jibe at you guys. I would not be surprised if you both like lived in the same room, not in the same bed, but like bunk beds. I could easily see that.
Oh, like
happening.
different
Greg and I
strokes?
can't-
Yeah,
Greg and I
yeah.
can't
Oh,
sleep
yeah.
in the same
The
room.
different strokes bunk
Right.
bed was the bomb, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
like the
The
T-shaped
T.
one.
Yeah.
Greg
I
and I
always
can't
wanted
sleep
that
in the
when I
same
was a
room.
Well, the first
Why,
time
when
we
you
ever went
snore?
away, the first time we ever went on a trip together, Colin's like, "Do you snore?" And I'm like, not to my knowledge. No one's ever complained about it before. And the next morning I woke up and I said, how'd I do? And you said to me, you're borderline. You breathe very loudly.
Oh, you're a heavy breather.
Yeah. Well, Christine's done her best to break me of it. Like when we first started dating, I breathe through my mouth.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you got to knock that off. And now I breathe through my nose, but then there are other times where I'm like congested or whatever.
Well, you can't help it when you're like not even thinking about it.
I know, but that's the weird thing is that I did. Once she's like, you have to breathe through your nose. You shut your mouth before you go to bed, and like I've been able to will myself to do that.
Yeah.
But I still probably breathe heavy through my nose.
I just feel like, there's, like you said, like bromance or like just like a sort of, platonic kind of love that you have for certain people.
Sure.
Like, there are certain people in my life, like throughout time, like my best friend from home and growing up, Mike Pope, who's still like my best friend his parents still live across the street from my dad. Like, very good friends with him. Like, I love him. I go to the mat for him, like forever. And
that's an old school term. Go to the map.
Yeah.
Colin's an old school kind of guy.
And Ramon, who we always talk about, like Ramon, I would die for Ramon. Like I love Ramon. Like I love Ramon to death. And Greg's another one of those people. Like I often think about too. Like I played in a band for several years called Paper Champ in college.
Get their LP on paperchamp.bandcamp.com.
I wish. I gotta get that. We do have a demo. I gotta get that up.
I want to hear that.
But like
demo.
we were actually really good. I thought we were really good. We used to like
Greg, were they good?
I don't know. I didn't listen to Paper Champ.
We used to play. We played a lot of shows on Long Island and stuff, and like we were really close to each other, and like I felt a great affection for them too. Like that was like because that was an experience, like a really unusual experience that we had to have together, opening for big bands and like bands that were established and just making a little bit of money and just grinding and trying to do something like so. I think a lot of it comes from like sharing an experience with someone. Greg and I have shared an experience together for a long time of wanting and doing the same things and actually working together. And what's unusual about my relationship with Greg is, we spend an inordinate amount of time together, and I think that's putting it lightly. But I've never been tired of Greg, and there's only been a few times when we've actually fought with each other.
Once.
Really one, and was when you were sick, I think, right?
I was coming off being sick, I think.
And so like, and that's 7 years almost of like friendship.
You were pretty hot that one time we did a Victoria's Secret live show at your house.
Yeah, that
was
too.
cool.
No,
But
that's
even
not
then,
what
you
we're
guys were like,
talking
I wasn't really mad at Greg though.
To be clear, it was the situation you were mad at.
Yeah,
there was no person. It was just like we were all like, oh, this has happened.
Colin walks in and he's like, why is there so much pink in my house right now?
Who the fuck are all these people, and who got the craft services table?
That was
at my fucking
awesome.
house?
That was awesome. You know what? I think partially you were a little angry about that was because you're like, why can't every time we do something like that?
Right.
be
We do
on
all
this
this.
scale?
We do all
Like,
this shit.
Who bought all the food? How come someone can't come by? I'm sorry. Continue.
No,
Who
it wasn't
can't
like
get
that
a
at all.
gherkin
I
over
like
here?
that we have it no frills, whatever. But so
It
like
is.
that's
It's
the way I
it's
feel. Like
steaming hot in this room right now.
They're-
I can smell Tim
It's
from
not
here.
that hot.
I'm not hot at all.
Well, the door is shut. Last week we had the door open. Everything was fine.
No, last week I didn't turn the light on us. Last week I had opposite.
Oh, you're right. You bounced off the
Yeah, I
wall.
bounced it off the
Good
wall.
call.
Trying to
So
make
anyway, that's
We
all.
we got sidetracked on a point I was trying to make that I fight this whole people who I tell all people who watch this channel or listen to the podcast that I love them. You're my friend, yada yada. And people will respond back to that, but they'll put the hashtag no homo there. And it's like I am so over. I don't know. I don't know.
God.
I don't know
Look.
why we're so to the point that you think you can't tell another person of
It's
the
not even a
same
matter
sex
of,
that you
like,
love them. And
you know-
it's not like somebody would say I love you, and I'll be like, oh my god, get away from me. You don't want to have sex with me. That's not.
You don't have
that's
to-
not where your
yeah.
mind jumps.
When you get to a certain age and you've been with someone and you guys have been to battle together as far as like, the events that you've covered and the amount of time you put in together watching each other's back when it comes to work, you don't have to qualify it anymore with platonic.
But I don't
You
think
can just
anyone
say-
needs to do that. I don't think.
I know.
No,
You
you
just
don't.
say-
But
There's never been a girl. Like, think about it this way: we've had the like '90s crushes show, and we've had the porn stars show or whatever.
Amy Jo J.
Image OJ.
Amy Jo
oh,
Johnson.
yeah, Amy Jo. But like, we
Amy
never
Jo J.
said I love that person, and that meant I want to have sex with
Yeah.
them. And that's where people are making that jump. That if by saying on Twitter I love you, it means that you want to have sex with me, or that's where I'd
See,
go
I
with
don't
it.
know. I think specifically the no homo thing is just it's more of a like a thing people do, and like
It's a defense mechanism. It's a I don't really want to
I don't even
understand
think
this.
so.
I don't.
I think
It's
it's
no,
cool
it's
to
totally
say
that
it.
I don't want to come off gay, as if that's first off a bad thing, and secondly, as if that's where you'd go with
Yeah.
that. That's what infuriates me about, especially where we live. Right, our day-to-day work is on the internet with video games, where there's already there's this war. It's being fought through comments and through Xbox Live chat and PlayStation chat for that matter.
Sure.
But you know what I mean? Of just like this intense homophobia, as if that would be the worst thing in the world for
Yeah.
someone to think you're gay. And that's why I go out of my way to take off my shirt and kiss other guys and do all this other stuff. Where it's like, no, get over yourselves. Like I love Colin, and if I want to kiss Colin on camera, not like tongue kissing, yada yada yada. But like, why would anyone worry about that?
Greg, let me ask you a question. Have you been overweight primarily for your
Yes.
entire life?
Yep. Since the womb.
What?
8 pounds 9 ounces.
What has kept you from being self-conscious about that?
Oh,
Is
no,
it because
totally.
you're tall?
No, I was self-conscious. Like, I mean, like, I'm a late bloomer in every respect. Like, in high school, especially, like.
I have a theory, by the way,
Okay.
that being tall trumps everything.
But I wasn't
No,
tall.
See, that's just because
forever.
you're self-conscious about.
Because I'm short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not short.
say
but
it.
I think you
you're not
wrestle with
tall,
the same
though.
things everybody else does. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I
just
think it's totally one of those
Whatever
things.
I don't have, that's
Eventually,
my insecurity.
you just
Sure.
I adopted the fact that like I wasn't upset about how I adopted. You were born.
Colin, give me a little bit.
You merely
Give me a little bit of it right now, Colin.
you merely adopted being fat. I was born into it. Would you like a peanut?
No one cared about me until I put on the mask.
Nailed it.
No, there was a point where once when I knew this is not, and I don't want to mean who I am, like I accepted it, but like who I wanted to be, right? Like I never, there was never a thing of like you're talking about where I was like, you're like that one part in Family Guy when Chris is like, you're not welcome here anymore. You know what I mean? Like I was never like that. You know what I mean? Like I've always been overweight and I'm fine with that. And it sticks to the point that like we do this all the time on Knocking Boots, where it's like the advice is, you're in high school and they don't like you, like. If you don't like yourself, there's the problem. If you like yourself and this person like you, fuck that person. Big deal.
It's hard though. It's hard when you're in high school because you want to be liked.
100%.
Everyone's
You have no
so
context.
superficial.
I
Yeah, you
know,
don't have
I
the
know,
context.
I know, and I'm with that. And that's what we always try to drive home when I give advice to that. You know what I mean? That I like there were people in high school who loved me and dated me and all these other things that were great people. But like that's the whole thing, I guess, is like I never had the whole like I got shot down by some beautiful girl.
Sure.
Like that. Like I was.
Well, see, I
pining
never
for.
got shot down by beautiful women. I was always good enough to like be like whatevs, and then eventually it would get to a certain point where clothes would start coming off, and it would be like, oh, like I didn't
Really?
Yeah, I've had that reaction.
Wait, you would have that reaction?
But women have had that reaction to me.
Oh.
Like not. Well, I'm just not that
this
excited
is what I
anymore
was
about this
expecting.
whole thing, right? Like this is not. You're not the last guy that I hooked up with, which was the soccer player with like 6-pack abs. And I think in high school, not to say I don't want to generalize, but the girls that I had encountered were like, I have a certain concept of what I think should be like.
Really?
Yeah, it's more superficial than I think it was,
Interesting.
which was so funny
Crazy.
because all the way up until my late 20s, I would encounter people like that, and maybe this was all in my head. I don't know, because my wife one day was like, "You're crazy. You look fine. Like I don't understand why you would think that." And my wife was actually one of the only people that ever broke me of that, where she's like, "Stop. Like you're good. I'm excited
I'm into
to
this.
be around you." Like for me, and then I realized a little bit more that to have a real relationship and to really have that intimacy with a woman, there's a lot more than just the physicality that
Sure.
goes into it, right?
Yeah.
There's my wife loves the fact that we're secure with each other, that we know we're going to be there for each other, that we have
She can watch
a
you eat a
life that we're
burrito
building to each other. Yeah,
go grab some Taco Bell
we can
afterwards.
diet for 5 days, and that 6 days, like, no, break open the Oreos. Get Taco Bell and just go straight to Oreos.
Right.
after that. And we do that together. And so that's when I really was like, okay, this is on another level. But and in high school was just a whole different. High school's hard. It's really
Sure.
hard.
See, that's
No,
crazy.
yeah.
When you were saying this about the tall thing,
Sure.
like that's just because that's your
hang up.
hang up. Like,
Well, I got a lot of
'cause for
hang-ups,
me-
first of all. I got
but-
the tall
but I mean-
thing, I got the skinny thing, I got the hair thing. Like, Colin's hair is majestic.
And see,
It's like a
that's
grassy
crazy.
knoll with, like, butterflies around. Like,
I've never
flying
once
around.
Shot
thought about
JFK
you.
from it.
There's two guys
that's
over
where
there.
the second shooter was.
Colin's.
It's crazy.
brow.
I've never thought anything about your hair. I mean, even like I don't get
what's
when
wrong
you
with
say
your hair?
No, this is 120% what we all talk about. You remember that day where I was like, I'm gonna do Invisalign. And you're
Yeah.
like, why? And I'm like, because my teeth suck. Are you kidding me?
Well,
And
see,
you're
I
like,
still
what do you
think
mean?
your teeth
And I'm like,
add
this
character
thing and that thing. And you're like, yeah.
to
You're
you.
like, but like you didn't know, that wasn't a sticking point for you.
Yeah,
For
right.
me, looking in the mirror or when I watch up at noon, I'm
Sure.
like, oh God, it looks like I don't have a tooth there. You know what I mean? All these different things.
Yeah.
See, for me, I think the craziest one was I grew up in San Francisco,
Sure.
and all of my friends were Asian. All of them, like all
You want
my,
me to put
my
that down?
group
Is that
of friends
that's
is
not
Asian.
racist?
There's a little bit different
No, this
in
is
the way
this
he
is
presented it
different.
and the way
I'm
you
laughing
did.
anyway. I know. I'm just joking around.
Yeah, and like I actually felt super self-conscious that I had brown hair.
Yeah.
They all had black hair, and like all of it, like they'd spike their hair up and it would spike one way, and like when I would try to spike my hair up, it didn't do that.
You don't
Wait,
consider yourself. Now, here's how stupid Greg Miller is about all this stuff. You don't consider yourself blonde?
I hate this conversation. I don't get when people say I'm blonde.
You're blonde.
What?
You are blonde.
I'm a damn.
Like
brunette.
right now, it's really
not
dark
blonde.
because you have gel and stuff in it. But like when you do that
When
thing
you
where
don't do your hair.
when you're coming in, like, hey, I'm gonna get my hair cut today. You
Yeah.
have that like whole like the
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
like
yeah.
fro
Yeah,
thing
which,
you
by
do.
the way, as a side note,
Don't do
why
that.
don't you do your hair when you get your hair cut?
He's not blonde.
No, it's because it's a
I
good
don't like
point.
them washing it and stuff.
Why
Thank you.
not?
That's
It's so awesome. I love that.
I need
part.
a haircut tomorrow before up at noon, and like that's
Go
my big
to
thing.
my
Is like
person.
I gotta put nothing in there.
I go to a place called Mercer Street Salon. It's way overpriced. Go there one time.
Let me tell you about my guy. Costs way too much hate on, but you need to go.
She's
there.
ridiculously expensive. I love her, but she's really expensive. Her name's Masha. She's Russian. She's a badass hair cutter, stylist. And when they do the thing where it's like a 10-minute scalp massage, and it's just the most relaxing thing on the planet. I don't know why you guys wouldn't want that.
But so, Greg, what color is your hair?
Brown.
Mine's not the same as his?
No.
Yeah, what?
Not at all.
No, it's got gel
Like I
in
mean,
it.
like
It's a
I understand that
shellac.
you
You
just
got
like to be a
shellacking.
dick and say against everything. Look at his temples and tell me he's not blonde. And again, I'm when he gets his haircut the next time, you're gonna have to do an unbiased, ungelled look.
What about right here?
His hair.
I'm not. This is the whole question. I didn't say.
He's like a light sandy blonde, but it's not.
Thank you.
Brown rather.
Thank
but
you.
it's
No. Revisionist.
No, he's not blonde. It's like that's not blonde in any universe.
Anyways,
See, I think
this has come up many times.
I think the Tara Reeds of this world have ruined blonde hair with their like bleaching and stuff. You don't
Blonde,
know.
like
You don't know what's
the
real
super
blonde
blonde,
anymore.
yeah. So my,
God.
what's crazy about that is my wife, when I met her, was brunette, but she said she's like, when I grew up, I was blonde. She was blonde, and so she dyed her hair blonde, and it was awesome because it was the same month she got glasses, and I was like, you're like a whole different person. Like
My God, Nick.
it was amazing. I was like, take the glasses off. Whoa, it's my wife. Put the glasses back on. Who is this person?
It's like a new
that's in my
face.
bed?
George
So
Costanza,
funny.
like George
Exactly.
Costanza says.
But
Greg's
to
looking at
go
me
back
like,
to what I
"You're
was saying,
such an idiot, Scarpino."
like I felt so weird that like they had black hair. That's what I thought people are supposed to look like. I
no, but
wasn't
that's who you
stupid.
identified with.
But that was like that's what the girls that I want.
That's
Yeah.
normal.
You know,
That's
Yeah.
and
normal.
it's like they want black hair, and I had body hair, I had facial hair, I had
Yeah,
all this
you're
stuff.
burly, you're a man.
And I was like, and these my friends, none.
Google
Absolutely
everyone.
no body
Google
hair.
Tim Geddes shirtless. You'll see what I'm talking about.
There's
no,
nothing.
Google at Tim Geddes and ask him how Instagram
Instagram
works.
Ask
works.
him about Instagram. Tim, why don't you answer people?
I don't know.
Why are
You
you
know
so
how Instagram
active?
works.
So active. And then the other thing was I was tall. I was 6 feet
Yeah,
tall.
you're tall.
And they were like 5'2" or something. And I felt so self-conscious about that I was so much taller than them and all this stuff. And
That's
I'll
the
never
first
forget the
person in
day
history to feel
that my
that.
friend Vincent, in the middle of class, lifts up his arm. He's like, "Oh my God, I have an armpit hair," and he was so proud of it. Whereas,
You're like, I have so much.
but the past 3 years, I was like so like ashamed of it.
Mammoth.
But it was like that was like the moment that I was like,
Meanwhile, Tim's counting the hairs coming out of his butthole.
I know exactly right.
Tim, do you have the furry butt? Did you have the furry butt in high school?
I wouldn't say furry.
Don't ask that
It's
question.
definitely not.
You got that grundle hair?
Anyway, my point is like
What was the grundle? What was the grundle again?
Was it taint?
That's the
area
tear?
between the ball sack and the butthole.
gooch.
The
Just something
grundle.
about you saying that word. Grundle.
Anyway, ending this, my point is that I realized my friend was just as self-conscious the opposite way.
Right.
Sure.
That I was this way.
Sure.
He wanted that and then didn't have it, and I was just like, this is stupid as hell. And now I look back and I'm like, I was dumb. I was.
Kids
so
are dumb. You're dumb as a kid.
Yeah.
You get
don't
hung
know
up on
anybody.
dumb shit. Yeah, exactly.
You really don't know anybody.
You do, and you know what? At the end of the day, it just doesn't like the media. It doesn't help. I mean, you always talk
The
about like,
media.
you always talk about all those.
That's us, Nick.
No, we're definitely not the media. We are. Well,
These
no,
kids
but
promoting their Greg Millers in their suits.
we're not. We're not like. Well, we don't airbrush Greg Miller when we put him up on the YouTube banner. We just throw his ass up there. You know, he's not getting the full treat. We're not squeezing him down a little bit. You know, we're not Kardashianizing him. You know, but it's hard though. You have you have image of yourself of what you should be, right? And it becomes very hard to ever attain that. And then you one day realize you're like, wait a minute, I'm actually pretty awesome the way I am. So
Yeah.
you know, for anyone who's suffering from self-doubt or any body issues, you'll get through it. You'll get to a place where hopefully you know
Just be
you
happy.
invest in
Once you're happy with
yourself,
yourself, big deal.
and you will be happy. That's the way it goes. Colin,
Yes.
What's your topic?
what's your
Close
topic
this
this
out.
week? Close this out.
So I was thinking about, one of the things I really love is music. I love music a lot.
Yeah, sure,
I can't go a day without listening to music for probably a few hours.
sure. Queen. I just discovered Queen.
Queen, you just discovered Queen?
You rediscovered Queen.
Rediscovered, okay.
Sure.
And I was thinking,
know they sang Fat Bottom Girls. That's a real conversation from the flight over here.
Born to be kings.
I know that song.
Greg's the princes of the universe. It's a Highlander theme song.
I don't know that.
Shock Mark, you know
You
who
are
loves Queen? You know
missing
who loves
out.
Queen? Mark Ryan.
Oh, I'm gonna talk to Mark
He's like a
Ryan
Queen
tomorrow about that.
historian. And I'm thinking about the albums, like the seminal albums in your life. The albums that you come across from, not the bands, not the necessarily, not the songs necessarily, but
Yeah.
the front to back albums.
Like Slippery When Wet, Bon Jovi.
Sure, if that's an album. that you love. It's a good album, by the way.
This is a great album.
But the albums that a few albums that really defined yourself. I'm gonna give you an example.
Give me one.
One of the albums front to back that not only brings me back to a place, but that is still fucking rocking to this day is Green Day's Dookie.
Sure, yeah.
From front to back, from Burnout to what is it, FOD at the end or whatever it is. That album rocks. That album fucking rocks. And I would argue, and I say with confidence that I really know music.
Sure, you do.
That
you got a great musical knowledge.
That's one of the great albums of all time. And I don't think that people. And I don't think that people.
I've never heard anyone argue that.
Yeah, I don't think people really think about it that way.
What was the most popular song from that? Because I get the Green Day album.
Basket
Case, yeah.
Do you have that time to? Yeah, absolutely.
But When I Come Around's on there and Longview's on there. But
that was a great album.
That's one of the first CDs I remember.
Solid.
I remember there's a hidden track. If you do this and you do that, well, it's the touching myself.
Yeah.
There's a couple for me. One of which this is a cop out. Everyone always says this, and one of the greatest albums. Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
Is start to finish. You're just these are 9 of the greatest hits of the 80s, right? And for me, there's a very specific reason. I love Sweet Child of Mine. I love Welcome to the Jungle. But I didn't really realize how.
Was Sweet Child of Mine Appetite for Destruction?
I think.
I know when you get eaten alive.
I think it was.
It wasn't one of the Use Your Illusions.
No, Sweet Child of Mine was Appetite for Destruction.
Just putting out.
I think so.
I'll double check. You do your story.
I didn't realize how influential Guns N' Roses was until I started listening to that album in the 90s. And I was like, oh my God, this is a really good album. And then later on, I got into a little band called Rage Against the Machine. And there's
that's self-titled album?
Now I'm actually forgetting.
Or Evil Empire?
No, Battle for Los Angeles, I think.
Oh, so that's the one that came out in 99?
Whichever one had Calm Like a Bomb.
Yeah, that's the one though.
That album just blew my mind because every track on that is amazing.
Yeah, Testify is the first.
Oh yeah,
first track on that album. I still think their self-titled album is the best, but
you're 100% correct.
Okay.
Was Paradise City on that one?
Yeah. Mr. Brownstone was on.
It was
that
Welcome
one.
to the Jungle, Night Train.
I'm on a night train.
Out to Get Me, Paradise
God,
City,
it's so
My
good.
Michelle, Sweet Child of Mine, You're Crazy, Anything Goes, Rocket Queen.
God.
So no Welcome to the Jungle.
No. Welcome to the Jungle was the first track.
Yeah, Welcome to the Jungle. I was gonna say,
Damn, that is a solid.
It's
album.
It's one of the. Well, I mean, it's everyone knows it's one of the best albums ever.
Yeah. I mean,
they never had an album that rivaled that.
Now,
ever.
I don't want to make you feel old, but me
Sure.
and my friends, when we were in the 4th or 5th grade, that was the goal that everybody wanted.
What year did that album come out?
The album came out in '87.
I was 7 years old when that album came out.
I would have been 4 years old.
Okay.
So
all right, you're not that low.
yeah, but that was our thing where we did a grab bag gift exchange where we got cassette tapes and people's older brothers had to go buy them obviously because they wouldn't sell us Def Leppard and they wouldn't sell us this.
Yeah,
so we all got them and I got Appetite for Destruction out and made a copy for all my friends and wore that thing out. Loved that.
Man.
It had that iconic album cover with all of them with skull. They were skulls
on
and
the
it was
cross.
On the cross. Oh, I was like, dude, these guys are hardcore.
Bringing that into a Catholic school, we felt like badasses.
Oh man! And then you'd hear these tales of where they would sell out a show in Germany. And then they would refuse to go on stage, and the Germans would burn the entire stadium down to the ground. Do you remember that? There was a time when they were just Axl Rose was I'm not going on, and they would just an instant riot.
yeah, Axl Rose was an idiot.
He was an a-hole,
But Guns.
but awesome.
I'm talking about my significant music knowledge, but because I used to love to use Your Illusions, especially when I was when I was in college. But I didn't realize until very recently where the Guns N' Roses name came from. By the way,
the LA Guns.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I don't know what it means. I've never thought.
Really,
About it.
this is an awesome story.
Yeah, so it's guys from LA Guns, which was a glam metal band basically in LA, and then what was the other band?
Pasadena Roses.
Yeah,
no.
Pasadena
Was
something Roses was the other half of so these two bands came together, and so it's Guns and Roses.
That's right.
And I didn't
know that either, and someone blew my mind with that. I was like,
yeah, I was
that is amazing.
What? I listened to LA Guns, one of those records on Spotify, and I had no idea that.
I'm gonna go home tonight and listen to it. I didn't even occur to me.
I was like, that's
So
interesting.
this is crazy to me. The album that changes your life or whatever.
Sure.
For me, a big thing is actually video game soundtracks. The ones where they curate licensed.
Sure.
The licensed ones, right?
Like the
Tony
compilations?
Hawk's Pro Skater.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3. Guitar Hero even. I did not know Guns N' Roses until Grand Theft Auto.
Really?
And until Guitar Hero.
That's right. What year were you born?
89.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have known.
I mean,
Guns N' Roses.
I've heard the songs a little bit, but I didn't I need to get this music. I need to listen to this. This is awesome.
good.
Until then, and it's those games gave me so many opportunities to go back and listen to all these albums that I just now I'm in love with. It's just crazy to me. They're like the
That's how I got into Too
generational
Short.
thing.
Because of Grand Theft Auto. So
It works both ways.
Gangsta.
Dude, the GTA, especially Vice City.
GTA Vice City. Yeah.
Like, because everyone loves the 80s and New Wave, whatever.
Who doesn't?
Let me hit you with a few more.
Yeah. Give me a couple more.
Another album that I really love that I don't feel like gets a lot of respect because the band kind of fell off a little bit. No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom. Now,
No Doubt was awesome.
Yeah, like so.
Sure.
This album came out in '95. This is the album with
so
like
hard.
just,
I'm
a
Just a
girl
Girl.
and Spiderwebs
Yeah.
and Sunday Morning and Don't
Now,
Speak.
No Doubt. Let's back up a second. No Doubt did they start ska?
Yeah, they were an Orange County ska band, and
Right.
and
Because I was in Orange County. At the
yeah,
time when
like
were kinda
and
coming out.
they were big, and like I would say Tragic Kingdom's almost a post ska band, like a post ska record, but they always had they had horns and keys, and that album is just really
Wait,
like,
which song was the one like this? Bum, ba-da-da-da-dun, dun, da-da-da-da-dun, dun, da-da-da-da. Or was that Real Big Fish?
that sounds like that sounds like a Real Big Fish song.
Oh, I'll take this. That sounds
So that album I think is really important, and then there are albums that I don't think that like people would necessarily, like a lot of people would necessarily listen to, but that are very important and who
Don't
like,
eat 'em all,
in shaping and shaping.
Give me
Huh?
them.
Don't eat them all. You and I always listen to the same kind of music.
Wait.
No,
I want
I'm-
to toss out some of mine. Is what I'm saying.
Oh no, I'm just gonna and then I'm done. I'm just gonna throw out a few because you wouldn't answer these. You wouldn't
Okay.
answer these. Just say because we're not gonna talk about these.
Sure.
311's Transistor is like probably my favorite record of all time.
That was gonna be great.
21 tracks, came out in 1997. Followed up with
21
it.
tracks.
Blue Album was their big album in 1995. But Transistor was their follow-up and them trying to be different, and that album's like a fan favorite. Everyone fucking that's
Sure.
a 311 fan loves Transistor, and I that's my favorite record of all time. And then I would say there's like a few others like Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles.
Oh yeah, you go hard. I mean, if you're gonna go back to like those times,
Yeah.
we're talking Zeppelin.
Yeah, like-
you've got like Zeppelin 1,
Sure, and 2 and 3,
2 and 3, which are like.
and you have the last
If you're
4.
not into Zeppelin, go get on Spotify right now. If I don't.
Yeah, they just got on Spotify like a few weeks ago.
and just get the greatest hits and just start listening to that and
And,
don't do anything else.
I mean, the last 4 Beatles albums, like Magical Mystery Tour, Sgt. Pepper, White Album, and Abbey Road are like amazing
the White
albums. Pink Floyd, like almost anything.
Floyd,
Pink
I've never
Floyd.
gotten into.
I love Floyd.
Grateful Dead and Floyd, I've never been like
Grateful
everyone's
Dead,
always
I
like
can do that.
Floyd, Pink Floyd. You got to get into it, and I've yet to really been like have that. Like music has to come to me, right? I've never been like
Come
like,
to me, music.
Well, someone's never been like, dude, you got to listen to a song, and I go, whatever. I have to. It has to hit me right in order for me really to be passionate about it. And I remember there was one day when I was driving down the street in I think Anaheim, California. Back
I'll
after
sleep at
college,
the wheel.
just banging into cars. No, God, it was horrible. And I heard this song, and I had no idea who did it. And it went like, I come from the land of the ice and snow. And I was like, this song is hard as nails. And I drove to a Virgin Megastore at the Block at Orange. And I walked in, and I was like, hey. And this dude with like tattoos and like big stud earrings. I was like, he's like, yo. And I was like, who does this song? He's like, stop. He's like, that's Led Zeppelin. And I was like, I've heard of them. And he goes, oh, and he was like just this close to punching me in the head. And he was like, we have an awesome Led Zeppelin greatest hits. It was like 30 tracks. And since then, I don't think you can get it anymore. And I popped it in, and I was like, oh, my mind is blown. Led Zeppelin did like 90 songs that I love, and I did not know these were them. Dire Maker, Black Dog, Levee Breaks, all these Stairway to Heaven, which I knew was the only song I'd known from Led Zeppelin. So I was like, how could I have missed out on this part of my life? And I, from that point on, listened to Led Zeppelin like almost every day for like an entire year.
Wow.
And then I was like, I got to
my
get
dad
into
would
Pink
be best
Floyd.
friends.
And I tried to listen to Pink Floyd, and it didn't hit me. One day I will love Pink
Well, I
Floyd.
mean, if you don't like space rock or prog rock, then Pink Floyd's not going to resonate with you. But if you like prog rock, then it's going to really resonate hard. If you like 8-minute spacey ass fucking stoner songs,
Well, I love Space Oddity, but that's Bowie. And
Yeah.
by the way, Bowie's amazing as well.
Bowie's awesome too. Greg, hit me with something. I know one of the albums you're going to say. I think, but
Yeah, of course you do. I got 3. I
Good
think
to
the
see.
third one will be the one that catches you the most off guard, but these are definitive Greg Miller albums. Number 1, of course, Weezer, the Blue Album.
Weezer.
Everyone
Oh,
knows Weezer's my
Jonas,
favorite.
man.
Everyone knows Weezer's my favorite
Front to
band,
back.
but of course, like that album is one of the best
Is
rock,
it the one that's
one of the best
"I
rock
don't
albums.
give a-" Oh, that's Radiohead. Radiohead, another.
My name is Jonas, Buddy Holly, Only in Dreams, like
In the
Holiday. Yeah, in
No,
the
which
garage.
one was the one that was on Rock Band? Or was the big Weezer? No, Guitar Hero. It was the big Weezer song that was like on the first Guitar Hero.
Buddy Holly.
Say It Ain't So.
Oh,
Say it ain't so.
that's on
Was
that
album.
That's track 7. I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was like a definitive. Like it was one of those. I remember when I saw the Buddy Holly music video, I was like, "That's gonna be my band." and it was one of those I got the album for Christmas from my aunt, and then that was the first chance to listen to everything, and it was like, yep, made the right choice. You know what I mean? It was like luck of the draw that I was actually connected, and like that was coming up like right as I don't know, me and all my friends were getting into music, and my friends went in a much darker path of like, you know, way harder stuff and heavy metal, and I wasn't down that way, but like alternative,
Like
right?
Metallica, were they like Metallica?
Exactly,
guys?
yeah. And I
had so many friends that were like, "Dude, Metallica's the truth," and I was like,
right.
"Okay."
They're wearing
And
Slayer
Justice for
shirts.
All,
They're drawing
awesome.
Slayer stuff on their notebooks, and I'm like, no, not what I want to hear.
But
The guy
there's a
talk
few-
about like Kitty
And
Pryde.
Justice for All is an amazing.
Yeah, but when you hear one for the first time,
yeah, come
that
on.
is the fucking truth.
Oh, yeah. Which one was like? Oh God, I'm gonna.
The Unforgiven.
Unforgiven. Unforgiven. Yeah. Oh God. Did they do Silent City, or is that a different band? Yeah. Continue. What else?
Number 2, Collective Soul. That Gel album. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
That came out, and we went to Outdoor Ed, which is like this trip. Like it was like our first like school trip where you went away and it was like, you know, you go to like I forget where in Wisconsin, and you go and do like activities that are bonding and yada stupid.
But
shit
it's like out in the woods, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
exactly.
had that nature's classroom. We
some
called
dumb
it.
shit like that. Yeah. And like, but that was like that had just come out. Like that's what you listen to coming back up there and going back, and at night in between like events and stuff. And it was like something about.
Wait, was that the one? I was like, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over.
That was the Dawson's
That's
Creek,
Natalie
baby.
Cole or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then third one,
Tim, why do you hang out with me?
definitive Greg Miller coming of age album is a 2-parter, the Dazed and Confused soundtrack.
Wow.
Because that was totally a window into a world of music we
Yeah.
missed by
70s.
decades
Yeah.
or whatever. My Jim Dandy, go. Like, there's just so many great tracks
God,
on
what
that.
a good
And,
movie.
Like, that movie was
movie's
so
awesome.
good. And, like,
The George Washington stuff with the guy with the pipe is the best.
we're watching Dazed and Confused as junior high students, right? 7th, 8th graders about to go to high school, and you're like, this is the experience you want to have, right? Where you're like, this is like the next level thinking you're doing in your young adulthood. But like as you were saying earlier in the show, right? Like those are the adults, and then to have all this music that you didn't really know, but like you had heard before, like to have it on a CD that was just there. Like we were all in like we all me and my dumb suburban Chicago friends joined like the BMG Music Club, right? So you're getting all these CDs and stuff for 99 cents, and yet, but it was like such a mind-blowing experience that we'd go on camping trips and, you know, have that with us. And like the fact that that kind of music, similar to what you're talking about with like, you know, Pink Floyd, you'll get into it one day.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, you're into it now. You know what I mean? Like these things that you missed in that time period, but still speak to you today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you hear those songs, and that's the power of those, right? Is you hear those songs, and you're like, I instantly remember, like I instantly have all these feelings, all the moments I've experienced with these songs. And it's amazing, right? And music is always one of those things for me that I wish could have been my thing, or as important to me as movies growing up, because I grew up in the 80s. And so, like, for instance, I was singing a song the other day, and I was like, God, who did that song? And we've talked about this before, and it was like, kind of went like, bum, 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 bum. And I was like, oh, who is that? And I kept searching, and find out. I was like, it's The Cure. I did not know who The Cure was, right? I had know the songs they did.
Right.
I could sing along with the songs, but I did not know that was The Cure. And The Cure, if you remember correctly, was like one of the bigger pop bands, one of the more influential pop bands in the 80s. A lot of people loved them. I always thought of them as some sort of like weird, like Wicked or Wiccan like
Cure-
cult band, but
well,
they were like,
Well, The Cure was similar to the Smiths back then.
Sure.
Were like a hard to approach band with like really hardcore followers, and you don't think you really should. You can get into them, but you realize that the music's good. People like them because the music's good.
it's good. But yeah, I mean, I always, my brother grew up and he was like, he was the guy that was into Metallica, and he was the guy that was a drummer, so we'd learn all the parts and stuff. And so I was like, I'm not into Metallica. I remember the first band that I ever actually bought a CD. I remember my first CD. This would be a fun one.
Oh my God.
Pearl Jam's first album.
Spin Doctors.
Spin Doctors.
I got it
was
as a
yours?
gift. I got it as a
No
gift with my
way.
first CD player.
That first record is
Pocket full of kryptonite,
Yeah.
man. Hell yeah.
And then Turn It Upside Down or whatever.
Which
was their
one?
follow-up,
Which one was
also
Spin
awesome.
Doctors?
I've got Two Princes.
for you. That's
Sit
what I
down.
said.
God.
Yeah.
They were awesome. Good New York band.
My first CD was the Rugrats movie soundtrack.
Oh
God,
gosh.
Tim, jeez.
It was
Was that
awesome.
4 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Tim, by the way, it's a true story. Still buys CDs.
I do a lot. We'll
He
get to
bought
that.
the
We'll get
Miley
to that
Cyrus
soon.
CD. The new
Bangers.
Bangers.
So do you listen to rock at all?
A little bit. Did you do your picks?
one. I mean, yeah, I did mine.
Okay. So for
I feel
me,
like all yours are gonna be Eminem.
no,
It's got to be Eminem. album.
no. There's a mention there, but so
Sure.
So my three biggest passions in life is internet videos, video game, like old 90s video games, and independent hip hop music.
Okay.
Super equally into those things. When I was a young little kid, listening to the NSYNCs and whatnot.
I love NSYNC.
Like, there's that moment when
doesn't?
you're young, you just listen to whatever's there, right?
It's gonna
The first things that I consciously made choices to buy were the Gorillaz self-titled album, Linkin Park's Reanimation, and the Eminem
Linkin
Show.
Park.
Yeah,
Linkin Park was awesome.
but specifically Reanimation.
You
which
were
was,
all into Linkin Park back in the day.
Yeah,
of course,
Dude,
100%.
Hybrid Theory?
yeah.
Try to even talk shit about Hybrid Theory.
in my skin.
It's too much pressure to take. That was them, right?
Yeah,
that's
one
it,
step
that's it.
closer.
I remember
Q101, man.
rock rap.
Q101 loved them.
Rock
and I
But why
loved them.
Reanimation and not Hybrid
So
Theory?
Reanimation was the underground independent hip hop remix of Hybrid Theory, and it took all these guys that are like to this day still super underground, unknown dudes, and they made these like super like trip hop versions of these songs that I was already familiar with, and I was like, man, I really like this. Like the lyrics are thought provoking. Like it's not just ain't no lie, baby, bye bye bye. Like we're getting somewhere, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Wait, I'm sorry. Were you saying that like
was
that
insane.
song was not good because that song
No,
was
the
amazing?
song is amazing, and I will stand by
Bye
that.
bye bye.
It's like that, Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, there's
Do
a
it-
dance.
do it for
Fuck
me.
outta here,
Ain't
old
no
man.
lie. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways,
So bad.
the
Thriller, by the way, another amazing album.
The Gorillaz self-titled album also had a lot of the same.
De
Are you
La's
familiar
on it.
with this? De La's on it. No, not the self-titled. Are they? They're on the second.
Oh, the second one? The
Yeah.
one I had was that, yeah,
But,
De La. I bought
Del
it
the
'cause
Funky
of
Homo Sapien, like all of these guys were on it, and they were also on Reanimation. And then Eminem, I mean, that's just a different story.
Yeah,
of course.
You're hella into Marshall Mathers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all that, I was interested in that stuff. I also was interested in video games. There's a website, GameFAQs.com. Always would go to that stuff. There's a rap and hip hop board there. Would always look at that. And one day I saw a thread that was hip hop video game samples, and I was like, oh, I'm into this. Click on it, and there's just like a bunch of songs like, oh, this samples this song, this samples this, and there was one called Line Drop that samples the Tetris song. And the idea behind the song was that
Yeah.
so when you play Tetris,
Those of you at home that don't remember Tetris.
as the
Oh, one
lines
of you.
drop,
What's this, Angry Birds?
something like that.
Candy Crush. Continue.
Do you even know what Candy Crush is,
Nope.
Nick? Like honestly,
Honestly, I've never seen it.
that's hilarious.
Do
But
you? I mean, did
yeah.
you play it?
I've not played it, but
Yeah,
I
but
know what it is. Yeah.
I know it's a cultural phenomenon. Whatever, it'll come and go.
So in Tetris, when the lines would drop,
Don't call me out on my bullshit. I hate when you do that. I hate when you do it. He does it all the time. He's like, really?
I really love that you're to the point now where you have the drink in your hand while you're like, don't call me out.
son of a
Don't
bitches.
speak to your father that way.
You don't know me. Continue,
Yeah.
Tim. Sorry.
but so as the lines would drop in Tetris, the music would get faster, right?
Right.
So the idea behind this rap song was that as the rap lines drop in the song would get faster and faster and faster. And I was like, man, that's like, there's a concept behind that. It's
Yeah.
not just like,
Yeah.
fuck bitches get money. That's awesome. Got super into it. It's by a group called EFAM, Extended Fam. 4 underground rappers that don't mean anything. Little would I know that those 4 rappers would be like the most influential people in my entire life. This guy, led by this guy, Tone Deaf. And
Deaf.
the album that I'm going to call out, that I'm going to ask everybody that's listening to please go listen, Tone Deaf Archetype.
Archetype.
Yeah, it's an album, it's a rap album that it just, I can't really talk about it without it just sounding like I'm just
No,
saying
that's all
big-
Fucking talk about it. You just told everybody to buy
no,
it.
but I'm
What's it
saying,
about?
but without saying just big words of just, man, it changed my life and all this stuff. But it's just like, it was the moment that I was like, man, hip hop music is more than just, it's hip hop music. It's
Sure,
not just
it's
rap. It's
money
like,
and fame.
there's
Yeah,
something there that like, that album came out in 2005.
Sure.
And I listen to it now and I'm still picking up on little things. I'm like, oh, I get what he's saying here. Or like, I'll hear little change ups in the beat that I've never realized, or like references he makes. I'm like, man,
Right.
this is like a big deal. And like, they, similar to us, where it's like, it's all community focused and like raised from the ground up. I mean, everybody knows me and Macklemore, but like,
You love the Macklemore.
I like Macklemore a lot. Tone Deaf's on another level. And it was crazy seeing Macklemore go from nothing to this huge thing. Tone Deaf's at a point where, he was somewhere. He's still not where he should be.
Yeah.
And
Well,
but
with
I'm
your
still
help.
there with him though, because it's like the stuff that he's doing is just
He's still doing good stuff.
It's another
Yeah.
another damn level. And
If I buy the Archetype album, does that have the Tetris song on it?
it doesn't. That is on an album called Happy Fuck You Songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I just
Good-
buy
good
that
name
one
for an
So
song?
I mean, here's the other thing. Not to talk about them for too long, but
Sure.
it's a record label, Q&5, Q&5.com, And their whole thing is in 2002 to 2005, they were a bunch of guys that were at that point my age. And they were rapping about like battle rap stuff of, you know, I got a bigger dick than you, you know,
Sure.
fuck you, like
Sure.
that stuff. And it was happy fuck you songs. Like it's comedy stuff. But like I essentially grew up with them. And it's like now they're doing all this like super deep introspective stuff. And it's like, it's been really cool to grow with their albums
Sure.
as I age. And
That's always
so
nice,
their
though.
albums, the entire Q&5 label is my.
It was like
albums.
when I graduated in 1998, and that summer I went and saw the movie Can't Hardly Wait, and it was about graduating from high school, and it resonated with me.
There you go.
Colin knows what I'm talking about.
Line Drop
that
is the
Line
song?
Drop is.
that
I love
the
that he wore goggles. I always thought that was really cool. The Seth Green's character.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yo,
from
I
Can't
got
Hardly
to
Wait.
get laid tonight, and then it was like it was like the whatever that Busta Rhymes like fired up, I'm all fired up. That cool Knight Rider theme they did doesn't matter. Look
Not
up,
going anywhere.
Spotify it.
So I think are we all satiated?
I think we're done. Greg, do you
Yeah,
wanna-
I'm
do
just
you wanna-
buying the song. Hold on.
What are you buying?
I'm buying the Happy Fuck You
The
song,
whole
Line
thing?
Drop,
Why don't
just
you
the
get
one.
Spotify for crying out loud.
I like to support musicians.
Yeah,
They
there
get
you go.
paid, though,
And so
with
that
this
going back to quickly what Nick was saying, I
Sure.
do buy CDs specifically from these guys. Like anytime they release something, I pre-order it.
You buy the big
I
dog.
buy multiple copies and give it
$20.
to my friends.
Sure.
Just because they won't buy it.
What I really want to point out about why I'm excited to buy the Happy Fuck You song here, Line Drop, is that their album has a D-pad in there that looks a lot like the IGN logo.
Did we steal the logo from them? 'Cause
No,
that
we
was
did not.
really-
We didn't
what?
steal it. I mean, a D-pad's a
Let me
D-pad.
see it. Let me see it.
Look at that from a.
I
From
hope
a
you're not buying the
distance.
clean
That's,
version.
That's the IGN logo.
There's no clean version.
No, I hope not.
So
I
Happy
hope
Fuck You
too.
songs on the back of the album.
That says parental
There's a cuss count of it, and it's like 564 or
Nice.
something.
Man, that was like what was a Two Life Crew? Do you remember the
Oh
debate
yeah, yeah.
over Two Life Crew?
Well, no, I don't. I mean, I remember it from the history
Man,
on
that-
VH1.
The
behind
history
music.
books.
I lived through that time, and that was hysterical. You know, they did the song "Me So Horny."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
me so horny, and it was like the national news. I mean, national news.
yeah,
This
yeah.
song's gonna corrupt your youth.
It was a brilliant marketing ploy for them.
Yeah,
Awesome.
totally.
Yeah.
How many times platinum is that fucking album?
Oh, ridiculous, probably.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been another episode of the Game Over Greggy Show. Thank you so much for watching, listening, however you got it, whether you begged, borrowed, or stole. Thank you so much. Don't forget about Happy Fuck You songs.
Yeah,
Line Drop.
Q&5.com.
Yeah, give them some credit. Follow us all on Twitter. Make sure you tweet at us about what you liked, what you didn't like. Remember that the Game Over Greggy Show posts a couple of times every week. You get it first off on that Friday. You can go on Bandcamp. You go to gameovergreggy.bandcamp.com. For $1, you get the song a few days ahead of everybody else. It's an MP3. It's high quality. You love it. Or you wait and it goes up on gameovergreggy.com, youtube.com/gameovergreggy for free every Monday. I try to be in there answering comments. Monday, I'm usually really good about it, but by
Yeah.
the end of the week, I'm
By
like,
the end
I'm
of the week, no,
tired.
it's rubbish.
Well, like
Yeah.
today, I woke up and I was still hungover from NyQuil. Like, I'm sick, so I took a NyQuil last
Good.
night.
I'm glad I'm sitting right next to you. The
No,
whole
you're
for
fine.
2
It's
hours.
Colin who's really fucked up because he lives with me, but he's already
guys sleep
fine.
in the same bed.
It's funny because Colin said like over the weekend, I'm getting sick, and then the next day I woke up with a sore throat. I was like, motherfucker. But all it's been is a sore throat. You'd be
I
fine.
think I came out of
Yeah,
it.
I'm not that bad.
I gotta be good because I got a good bit for the show tomorrow.
well,
so
yeah,
I gotta
have
be
to speak the
well
entire
rested.
time show too. So
Well, I'm not worried about you.
Okay.
You've done it 117 times already.
And I'm
Who's our
as
guest?
bad as day one. Tomorrow.
Who's our guest tomorrow?
Well,
Up in
tomorrow is the Pine Sol lady, so you need to come watch that episode.
Or it's today if you're listening to this on Monday. On
Yeah,
YouTube.
no, literally. Oh, I guess if you download it on Bandcamp, yeah. But if you're watching this on Monday morning at 6 a.m. in 6 hours on IGN.com, you can go watch me interview the Pine Sol lady, which is going to be a fantastic interview.
Oh, 100%.
I can't wait.
There's been a bunch of
wait.
people at the office who have been naysayers, and I'm like, you.
You mean everyone?
No, not everybody. A lot of people.
I
are
think
down.
it's awesome. Steve Butts was like,
Well, I understand the questioning if you don't know who she is. There's a
Sure.
few people who don't watch TV who
Sure.
don't know her, but like, she's
Steve Butts
just,
has kids, so he probably doesn't do anything but take care of his kids.
yeah, okay.
Sure.
There's been a lot of ladies. Go watch the Pine Sol episode. Help me out. Throw a few views my way. It'll be fun. Keep
Throw us-
watching everything
throw
here
us
on
a couple bones in the
GameOverGreggy.com.
Egan.
Remember, every day at YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy, we post a nerdy conversation. Come watch it. Maybe it's a conversation with Colin. Maybe it's a Gregory. Maybe it's someone with these two chuckleheads.
Yay.
We'll see what we dig up soon. Until then, thank you so much for
You
watching.
wanna do
We
it?
will see
Let's do
you
it.
next week. Here comes
it
a bye
this?
bye bye reference.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye bye. Don't want to be a fool for you.
All right.
Just another player in your game for two.
Colin.
Colin may hate you, but it
Ain't no lie. Colin, bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye.
Let's order a pizza.